the recap.
Contextually, I should have put that.
I wasn't here for most of it, so.
I'll do it. There was a, we went to the crypt. There was a guy who was, he had plate armor, a big great sword. He was writing letters. We couldn't have that, so we kicked his ass. The letters pointed us to a hideout in the gnarly forest, and also a spot where a thing happened near the lake. And now we gotta figure out where to go from here.
I don't know if I'd call it a great sword. It was an okay sword.
Did you see what Galactor did with that sword?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's adamantine.
I don't know. Marxo hadn't put it in my inventory yet, so.
That's just my guess based on the fact that it's huge, straight-through solid stone.
I do believe I critted, though, whenever I rode. I'm not 100% sure.
You can force that. Because he rolled it. Regardless, I would think it's adamantine just based on how easily it clove through that. Or you just have the strength of adamantine there, Galactor.
I'd be surprised either way.
It is a very exquisite, exceptionally sharp sword.
Now, it didn't show up as magical, but adamantine isn't inherently magical, I don't believe.
Do you want to drop something in my inventory, or do you want me to just grab a great sword out?
I'll take care of it, don't worry about it.
Roger Dodger.
I will handle it. So, that is where you all left off. As you recall, you are still here. You have acquired the letters. You have killed the man.
As we're looking through the letters and whatnot, if we're kind of packing up to head out of the room or whatever, I don't know where we're at exactly, but before I arrived, did you all happen to come across anything about the forest or the lake? Does any of this make sense to you?
I know we looked at a map at one point. Marxo, do we remember details that might match those things?
Rephrase that question again.
Well, basically, what is the nearest forest and lake and stuff that would match the description?
Well, you know the gnarly forest is to the west. It's a fairly large forest, runs down along the Wally Bay and near Nawal and so forth. The lake, drivers, there's a lake over near the Cairn Hills. If you look on the map of Greyhawk. If you will look on where Greyhawk is at, over by the Cairn Hills, there's a lake up in that area that is nearby. There's also one where all the rivers kind of merge together out of near Druv kind of sea and follow down into Wally Bay. There's a lake kind of there.
And where are we at right now?
You all are about the sea in Cairn Hills.
So we're kind of already nearby the lake.
Pretty much, yeah.
Give me a sec. After these messages, I'll be right back.
Wait, what?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Oh.
Oh, hell.
Callers now available. Please leave a message.
But I was just gonna say, before we leave, we can just take like a quick peek around, see if there's anything else in the immediate area.
It doesn't look that huge.
I'm not expecting to be able to find much. chance, considering we don't even know what exactly we're looking for. So,
I'm back.
just hey. So, but
So that would be searching the crypt.
I mean, I guess so. But for Elhaim's question, we don't know of any particular lake and forest that is mentioned here, but those are the closest ones.
Well, the man must have had a way to get wherever he was about to head to. Perhaps, and I don't believe Mark just said it looked like he slept here. So perhaps, since it does not appear he was living here, he stayed at a camp nearby.
You haven't noticed a bed of any kind or anything like that, no? In none of the rooms you've been in so far.
So perhaps it would be important to look around some more.
Shall we make sure the rest of this place is secure then?
Chowder nuts.
Let's go.
And believe we begin searching unless anybody else has something else.
Galactor is going to pick up Sir Joffrey's body and kind of place him up on, like, sitting.
Sitting, like, you're gonna prop him up?
Well, like, I'm not just gonna let him sit here on the cold hard ground. I mean, he had on. So I'm just gonna like put him in, like, I don't know, prop him up here in the corner. You know, he'll be sitting, but at least not laying.
You gonna put in like his thumb, like a thumb up pose or something like that?
Sure, but I'm also gonna take his helmet.
What?
Just chilling in the corner with his knees caved in.
And his skull pierced a couple times. Okay. Alright, so you prop up Joffrey in the corner. Alright, so everybody else has moved down the hallway, it looks like.
Yep.
I don't know, I gotta go to the right map.
Proceed down the hall unless there's stuff to the left.
The crypt. Well, there's a door right above.
Oh.
Yes, there's a door. Because I didn't take the time to do Griblies and doors and all that good stuff, I just left it blank.
Well, our door guy is not here, so I guess Jiao Lu will try to open the door.
Okay, the door opens.
Well, Noni's back.
Yeah.
Cat can use his claws.
Oh, okay.
So you're opening the door? Who's opening the door?
Salem's gonna check it first. Perception, right?
Sure.
For traps, obviously, but
You think it's good? It appears to be good.
yeah, Salem's gonna open it then.
Okay. You open it to reveal a small crypt area.
What's on these crypts in here?
More designs like you saw before of warriors in battle. You see one guy, like one crypt actually has a small spear, and it looks like the way it's carved. The spear is laid flat, but it almost looks like the guy is driving it forward. Another one is a one guy with a bow drawn, and firing across.
Salem's gonna check the sphere crypt, the spear sarcophagus for trap.
You don't see any traps.
Salem's gonna go to open up the sarcophagus.
Okay. You're going to start prying open the sarcophagus.
Not quite yet. I'm kind of seeing if anyone's gonna react or anything.
Galactor looks very angry.
Elham,
That's all.
you all can see this. What do you all say?
Yeah. You definitely step forward and just kind of standing over the little cat looking down at him ask, what exactly do you mean to do with the corpse inside?
Don't tend to do anything. I just wanted to see if there was anything of interest in here.
Do we have any good reason to disturb the dead here?
There may be other things hidden here besides letters. So.
Y'all continue the discussion. I'll be right back.
Okay, we'll just make shit up as we
Looking at the sarcophagus, does it appear to have been opened recently?
What?
A surrogate DM, I say.
The DM
Fine.
walks away as soon as I have a question for him.
Yeah. Well.
Things may be hidden here, but I don't believe opening all of these places of rest is necessary. Surely we can find a more efficient way than checking every single one of them.
Yeah, then Salem will step away and kind of nod and. Well, what ideas do you have for looking for that then?
The majority of this place looks like it's been long abandoned. If things have been used recently, we should be able to find some clue or sign that somebody has tampered with it.
Well, then I'll wait to proceed then. And then Salem will just walk by.
I know when we first came in, I asked Marxo, and the place was extremely dusty and out of use, so...
So the places where the dust has been disturbed, maybe. Nice. If only we had a DM.
The DM has returned. I'm sorry.
My horse for a DM.
The DM is here. The DM is here. I'm sorry, I won't push my push to talk.
You're just asking if any of the sarcophagi, whatever they are, if any of them appear to have been messed with recently, or I know when we first came into the crypt, there was it was kind of dusty over everything. Do any of them look like there's scuff marks around them, or if somebody's walked through here or anything like that?
No, it is still just a layer of dust across everything.
So the only movement we can tell that's happened in here is ourselves.
Yes, the only thing you see are little cat paw prints on the sarcophagus lid.
That'll confuse somebody.
We're gonna keep an eye out for any of them that have signs that they've been recently disturbed then as we're looking around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Salem goes around. He's gonna keep an eye out for traps that are around, though.
Okay.
Is this a door right here?
It is.
Checking for traps.
Okay. Looks good.
Salem's gonna open it.
You open up to another large room. Relatively speaking. In there are rows of sarcophagus. Again, ornately designed. Again, everyone wielding a weapon of some kind. Mostly swords. You see one with a shield and a sword pointed down. You see another one with a sword kind of almost in a battle stance. And so on and so forth.
Are all these figures humanoid? Or just like
Humans.
more human? Yeah.
Are there any names?
You do not see any names, no. They seem to be nameless.
Okay.
Sam's gonna check this one for traps.
That's good.
Seems fine. Gonna open it up.
It explodes. No.
Well,
You hear a jeweler laugh in the distance. Again, another room, matching, almost identical to the one before it. The one you just saw last. Again, most just unnamed. They're just. You do notice something though. Every single one of the figurines, like the carvings, they're all different. Their faces are all different.
Okay. What if we go up and study their faces?
They're all different.
Well, yeah, but other than like secret little,
Squinting intensifies.
secret little poke eyes in it.
You look at them, you don't notice anything exceptionally different about them, other than the fact that they somebody has taken the time to carve each individual face to be different than the next, which is highly unusual.
So these were clearly people more important.
You would get that impression.
In the other rooms, did we notice any patterns about the weapons, or especially you'd mentioned the one about the crossbow? It looked like it was shooting across the way. Is there any pattern like following where the weapons are pointing?
You have not been able to determine one. No, they do. They just seem to be all indicate some symbols of battle.
Right, but there's no like they don't. One doesn't point to the other. That points to the next one. That points to a tiny hole in the wall or something like that. They just seem randomly.
You have not noticed anything like that. No. An A for effort, but no.
A for effort and F for fucking failure.
F for that is too complicated for the DM to consider.
No names or anything on these ones either, correct?
You have not noticed a name anywhere.
Would Salem know anything about like the burial practices of Wastry?
You're looking at it, kid.
Yeah, but deeper meanings of it.
I'm gonna say no. You have no experience with Wastry's burial practices of any kind.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, because a lot of Salem's history comes from reading a lot of stories and myths and all that.
As the cat walks through the wall.
Yep.
Magic
Well,
teleporting cat.
He's kind of an asshole god, not really a good guy, so it doesn't surprise me that these are all unmarked. Might be trying to hide their identities. Probably.
Yeah.
You think it's good?
Looks clear.
Salem's gonna open this one.
Alright. Okay. You walk into a very small room. There are two crypts. There are two sarcophagus inside of it as well.
What's on these ones?
You see two more figurines.
Okay. And the dust is
I'm sorry, I was just slowly watching the rogue cross the space. Just super slowly. As you look at it, they again not disturbed.
What was that?
Again, they're not disturbed. You don't see any.
except by us.
Yeah, by y'all. There are two figurines. You see them holding weapons again, a sword and a spear. Let's see. Who's actually in the room?
Salem's probably the closest to that.
Would Salem wreck it? Alright. Give me a investigation check. Here comes close enough. You sort of recognize one of these figurines.
Yeah.
That's
Does
it.
does it look like Thorn?
No. It's not exactly... It looks similar. You feel like you've seen this person before, but you can't place who. Exactly.
Not a man who is now lacking a helmet, is it?
No, we just went over that like 30 seconds ago. No, it's not Thorn.
Okay.
That was Thorn.
I don't remember names. I'm bad with names.
Is it Thorn? No. Is he lacking a helmet? No.
Is it Thorn? No. Is it Godfrey? That's the same fucking person.
Galactor pokes his head around. Is it Galactor?
You killed the DM.
Salem's gonna beckon the party over. This seems kind of familiar, but I can't place it.
Jalu will take a look.
Let's see. Who would have the most chance to know?
Is it Marcel Wallace? Does he look like a bitch?
He wants to roll things.
I'm thinking about it. Give me a second.
Okay.
The DM's thinking. All right, don't rush the DM. Or whatever's inside might step up. Do what?
There's a grinding noise in the air as the world's thinking cap turns.
I'm trying to figure out who would know most likely based on y'all's experience so far. Actually, that would be Jalu. Jalu, give me... You should have more... Why do you only have 3 skills? You have animal handling, insight, survival. Surely you should be proficient in more than those, aren't you?
Don't remember.
I feel like you're missing a couple here.
You're a human, right?
You should have a lot more than that.
You should have 2 from your background, 2 from your whatever, being a monk, and then I think 1 because you took variant human, right? Or did you take ones across the board?
Human. I don't think I took ones across the board.
He's a variant human.
What's your background?
Volkira.
That gives 2 skills. So you
Animal,
should have
animal
at least, yeah. Animal handling, survival.
You get 1 for being a human, variant human, so you get 1 of your choice.
Oh, one of my choice.
Yeah.
You should also have.
think I
You should have 2 from background, 2 from monk, and 1 from human. Plus your artisan tools or musical instrument.
Yeah, I've got that.
You're a folk hero, correct?
Yeah.
Folk hero, entertainer gives you acrobatics and performance.
Sounds like you're missing 2 proficiencies.
Yes.
What's
Actually, he's missing
from the-
3.
Wait, you said he has 3, right?
He has 3. He should have 6. And I just now counted this.
I'm not sure where that's supposed to be.
All right, so you get pick 2. Acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, and stealth. You have insight. You have survival. I don't know. I guess, and you have animal handling. I don't know where that came from either. These are from Monk. Pick 2. Acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, and stealth. Remember, you get athletics, or you get acrobatics and performance from Folk Hero. So that's that. So you pick
Sounds
2.
like you took your human one and your monk ones, but not your background ones.
He didn't take all of them either, because so you got one of your so you got insight.
heck? Hang on a sec. Because I just looked at it and it said something different.
I'm looking at Monk.
Kira. Folk hero, it says skill proficiencies, animal handling, and survival.
Are you sure you're looking at Folk Hero and not Outlander?
Yes. I think so.
Well-
the animal handling and survival.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay. I was looking at Entertainer. My bad. My bad.
Yeah.
Whoopsie. My bad.
Got the wrong one. That's like, how am I a performer? That's not...
Well, you're a Folk Hero, I guess. Okay, so you got Animal Handling and Survival. That gives you those two.
Yeah.
I gave you... Okay, so... Young Performance.
I had
Or
insight
acrobatics.
from my human
Okay.
thing.
And then, so, you get 2 more. So you missed your Monk ones.
Oh.
I will read them off to you again. Give me 1 second.
I can
You get
read them.
the choice of 2. Acrobatics, Athletics, History, Insight, Religion, and Stealth.
Let's see.
Exciting gameplay, I realize, but this happens every once in a while.
Let's go for go athletics. And we'll go for religion, I guess.
Okay. Works for me. Now you have all the skills you're supposed to have.
All right. Thanks.
As you have a sudden burst of memory.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I remember things.
You're a little cloudy from this whole time dimensional
Yeah.
thingy.
Exactly.
Alrighty. Give me an investigate. Give me a... You can either give me history or investigation. I don't care which one you give me. You may make a choice. Doesn't matter, you get the same bonus. They're both intellect based.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Should have went with history.
Good enough. Because you have first-hand... I will give you advantage. You can roll again. Because you have first-hand
Oh, okay.
knowledge. I will give you advantage on this one.
Oh.
Because you have first-hand knowledge. Good
There we
enough.
go.
You... It's not an exact match. There are features that are slightly different. But you recognize the carving to look a lot... I mean, more than coincidence to look like Mr. Ruben Russo.
That's Ruben.
It's not an exact carbon copy. It looks similar, but not every feature matches perfectly. Like,
Doesn't...
you would almost think more like cousins or brothers or something along those lines. Not same person.
like a twin, maybe. It doesn't look
No,
exactly.
not like a twin.
I don't know.
Doesn't look exactly alike. Could be a twin.
Eternal twins.
Well, yes, but
Or
Yeah.
near the board.
Jelly will point this out that it looks quite a bit like Ruben Russo. But it's kind of off.
similar.
Similar, yeah.
Like a lineage point off, maybe. Like a step in the family tree off.
Do we want to investigate this sarcophagus?
We gotta open it or what?
It is curious. I never met the guy though.
But it's a sarcophagus. It's a dead body.
If you feel the need to check it yourselves, I would insist that respect be kept for the dead.
Gonna check it for traps quick.
You think it's okay. It seems to be fine.
I'm chaperoning.
Yeah.
The
Make sure he
doctor's
takes
taking
them
a
out.
step back. He does not like graves being open.
Anything you would like to say before you open the sarcophagus?
Can Salem open it up on his own even?
What is your strength?
12?
You might be able to get the lid off. If you pry really hard.
Yeah, Salem's gonna try really hard to get it open.
Give me a strength check. You can't even get the lid to budge. You can't even lift it enough to knock the dust off.
You see some cat hanging off a crowbar.
Basically, just the legs just kicking.
Hang in there, kitty.
It's only Tuesday!
Let me show you how it's done.
Chungus has advantage on strength checks.
Flips the fucking thing over.
He actually,
Real problem when the thing that you're trying to pry up weighs more than you.
this is where Chungus flips the entire sarcophagus up out of the ground.
Yeah.
You said I get advantage?
You have advantage. Yes.
Bam. Here you go.
Good enough. You shatter the lid as it lands on the other side because you flip it up and just land. Crack.
Shall-
Ellie is kind of like puts her hand, her face in her hand, shaking her head.
Alright.
We can give him a blanket later.
Who is investigating what's inside?
I guess Jalu will.
Alrighty. So you would like to investigate.
Body, right?
I ain't touching it though.
It is a fairly deceased body.
Mm-hmm. That's to be expected. Pretty rank smell, I'm guessing.
It's been here long enough that the smell has kind of gone away. The body has fairly decomposed.
Basically mummified. Yeah.
Essentially, yes.
Desiccated.
It's not really a zombie, it's more of a skeleton.
It's about half and half. Think the mummies from, like, the first Mummy movie. Kind of how they looked. You know,
First
skeletal
mummies.
pots, zombie-looking spots, kind of sickened, half and half.
So the Brendan Fraser one,
The good one, yes.
not the original. Okay.
There isn't a person here for that to be the original. We are far too young for that one.
Doesn't change the fact that it was the first one. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
Alright, so you look down inside, you see this body. It is about halfway to be turning into a skeleton. It is laid in just kind of ceremonial garbs and been laid to rest.
Does it appear to be the same height as Ruben?
You guesstimate it could be relatively the same height. You aren't certain for sure.
That's at least somewhat close.
It appears to be somewhat reasonably the same. Yes.
Alright.
What else is in there?
Nothing? Like, what we're looking for here? Is somebody looking for treasure? Because there's not any.
Yeah.
Do there appear to be any papers, books, or anything in there with him?
There does not.
Charlie just kind of looked towards Ellie. Looking for guidance here.
Are there any, what kind of patterns are on the robes, if any?
You see that same pattern you saw in regards to Wastry when you saw in the pauldron.
They too.
Is he wearing any kind of rings or anything, like a Singed ring or anything?
You don't see any now.
Okay.
What does the other dude in here look like? The other image? Yield generic soldier or what?
I mean, he is different. You don't recognize him as anybody you've ever seen before.
So if these are all agents of Wastri,
Well, I'm assuming as much. The crypt was described to us as a burial place for Wastri's followers, wasn't it?
well, that information came from a madman. So,
The...
A madman who seemed to be good on his end.
but I guess this confirms he at least somewhat sensible.
And that madman was who again?
It was Born Keenseeker, I believe. His name. Yes.
They say if you show a group of hobos a silver, they'll take you to.
There happened to be anything on the now half destroyed underside of the lid?
There is not. It is. You can see that it does seem to sit down inside the square. Like it's got. How do I describe this? So instead of being flat and sitting on top, it actually kind of sits down in. If it makes any sense.
Wait, quick question. You said the symbol's the same as the pauldron. Is he missing a pauldron?
He is not.
Is he missing a helmet?
He has no helmet. No. You are unsure if this outfit requires said helmet.
We know what we must do. Looking around, this is the long shot, but glancing around the body inside the sarcophagus, there's nothing that looks like a little depression or notch or anything where you could, like, press to reveal a secret door. There.
You do not see any kind of buttons or notches or levers. No.
Well, aside from being somewhat interesting to find somebody who may be related to this sort of immortal man,
Yes.
I'm not sure what to make of this.
Neither do I.
Well, don't work it out. Alright, you have the sarcophagus lid off. The body lays there. What do you do now?
Did we proceed along, see what else we could find?
That's what I'd say.
If we have nothing else to do with the sarcophagus, I would like to replace the pieces of the lid at least.
Yeah. Just attempt some sort of covering of it, I guess.
Obviously won't be perfect, but at least the large enough pieces should slide back into place.
You feel that they would sit back in enough to seal it, basically.
At least to give what monicum of respect we still can in covering.
Would you happen to have the mending spell or anything? Cantrip?
I do. I'm just not sure if it can do something that big.
Maybe not so big, but at least help.
Let me check if it has any limitations stated on it.
A terror no longer than 1 foot in any dimension.
Mm-hmm. That'll do it.
So the break's a bit too big, I assume.
Yes.
But if there are any smaller pieces, I can mend them back together.
Luckily enough, however, unfortunately, it broke down just in this nice big, like, diagonal crack right across, about midway across it.
That's fine. So I'll just replace those then.
Oh, so you pick them back up and set them back down there. They're not that heavy after they've been, like, unsealed.
Giving the room one last glance, doesn't appear to be any secret doors, triggers, buttons, latches,
Fun.
stashes, caches, other things that end in the same rhythm or rhyme.
There is nothing to use your great perception skill on in this room. No.
Fine.
No! There is not!
And I'll head back out.
Alright.
Gonna check this one for traps quick.
Okay. You think it's good?
Gonna open it.
Galactor leans up against the wall. That's totally not a trap.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So you open the room to see a wall of sarcophaguses again.
Again, guessing it seems unperturbed.
I turn around
Okay.
to address the party, and oh no, Gloctor's disappeared behind the wall somehow.
What?
You found the secret passage.
He did?
Yeah.
Ah, Galactor's now on this side of you.
The creator of this world does not know about the secret passage.
He's really just like haphazardly swinging the greatsword around, just cleaving a hole through the walls.
Yes, and you just see dirt and stuff like that fall into the wall, and then obviously you see this thing of dirt come flying out the back hole as he uses it to try and dig his way through. So you all are into the room, huh?
We are.
Good. So what do you do?
It's not a sword at all. It's just a giant key that unlocks people's death.
It's some kind of keyblade.
Or maybe it's a key all the time, and when you stick it in people, it unlocks their death.
It unlocks the jelly that comes out.
Ketchup for everybody.
Do we see anything in here of significance?
Alright. Give me an investigation check.
How many people can do this?
I will give Ellie and you a chance.
Investigation. I almost rolled intimidation.
That is a vastly different scenario. Alright.
Yell at the wall to reveal its secrets.
You veil the tombs to reveal the secrets. As you look around, you notice a couple sarcophagus. They're, again, all different designs. You notice a couple of them that are similar to the one you saw before that you just opened. Slightly different. The facial expressions are slightly different, but they look similar to the ones before.
Similar to Rubens.
Yes. Again, they have that, like, first cousin, just kind of, sort of, off look.
I see.
Salem's gonna approach one with his crowbar out. Should we check out these, or have we desecrated too many already?
Not
How
sure
many
what
have we seen with the same face?
You see two more that look reasonably close. That have that same kind of first cousin-y look to them.
Huh.
Or similar looking first cousins, sort of. Because obviously first cousins can look very different, but you get my point, right?
perhaps these could have been multiple incarnations of Nissa.
Thank you. Somebody put the two together.
Seems as likely as anything else.
Being an immortal being that turns to flesh.
I'm not sure what to do with that information, though.
open sarcophagus with the crowbar, do you want to try opening one? See if you find anything different, or should we leave them be?
So this is just Cat going around the sarcophagus, tink, 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 tink.
Pretty much.
I'm not sure I expect any different outcome.
Neither would I.
While curious, there's nothing about it to note that there would be a difference. Mark said nothing in here appears to have been disturbed anytime recently.
There's a cat banging out with a crowbar.
I
I
mean,
believe a cat accessed the sarcophagus recently. Look, the prints go straight up to Salem. Salem, you're stepping on the tracks.
Beyond that, no. There's nothing. There is, again, dust covered.
Well, if nothing else, please go on.
sorry, I was just gonna say we could observe the garments and see how different they are first. Body beads.
Good enough for Salem. He's gonna try and crack one open.
Excuse to.
And he does, and you basically say, then puts the crowbar in and starts to pull down and just kind of hangs there. The crowbar doesn't even begin to move.
He does another pull up.
Move aside.
Oh boy, here we go.
Jesus. All of the lids fly off.
The lid flies straight up in the air, flips upside down, and lands upside down in the sarcophagus. You hear a crunching sound of what sounds like bones being shattered.
Oh no. Hope they let Chungus do this.
Well, at least he's already dead.
The lid is not sitting down in this, like the top section, because it was raised. It's kind of down in there, but like you could just lift it off now, because it's not sealed down into the sarcophagus now.
No, I'll do that.
All right, so you pick the lid up and off and set it off. Down inside is a shattered skeleton. You notice, however, upon investigation, that it is a solid skeleton.
To be fair, we have no way to prove it wasn't like that before we got here.
Fair point.
What about the vestments it's wearing?
They appear to be older and more tarnished, but match the vestments as best you can tell.
I see.
Salem's gonna jump into the sarcophagus and say to,
What?
it's a box, what do you expect? With a cat.
And this is where the cat shits on the dead body.
Yeah, I contemplated that, but that's kind of overdoing it.
Jesus.
But Salem will say to Chungus, after looking at the broken up bones, I think you might have overdone it that time. Does Salem see anything else being closer, being right in there?
Not really, no. Other than you can see how the bones were shattered into several pieces.
Salem's gonna clamber out and say to the party, should we check out the other one that looks kind of familiar?
I would say not.
And you kind of hear him tinking on it again with his crowbar.
You can hear the sound of a mouse inside as you tink on it.
One sec.
Guess.
Well, Salem hears that mouse, so he's going for it.
He wants it.
He pops the lid off.
Nice. Funny magic. You learned with the first two. You know,
And then he goes for the mouse.
You attack the body as there is no mouse.
Oh, it was an illusion. Alright, well, I guess once this is open, is the vestments the same again?
Well, you're not sure now, as Salem has clawed the vestments into pieces.
Well, I was saying Salem more pounced on whatever possible mouse was in there.
I see attack, claws.
That's just the best way to represent that.
The vestments, from what you can tell, from what's left of them, do appear to be similar. Yes.
Okay.
I think you went a bit too far, Salem.
These seem older and newer than the last one we opened.
But the same.
About the same.
Yes.
Is there anything else on and around the body in there? Salem's right in there again.
You don't see anything now. No mouse, no nothing.
And Salem was climbing up, being kind of disappointed that there was no mouse.
I was disappointed, didn't you?
No mouse when we get back.
Oh, me.
Well,
I believe we've him.
if nothing else, we've confirmed my suspicion that he must have a camp nearby because there's no evidence of anybody being able to stay here.
Mm-hmm. We should search for that.
Since we checked out this whole crypt, could Salem give like a blanket, like for check for like hidden passages and stuff?
Sure. You did not find any.
Yep.
Shall we chance
Should
the step?
should we close the sarcophagus that we opened?
Chalu already walked away. Waiting at the stairs.
I'll say I was gonna help close the sarcophagus with whoever's closing them then.
Yeah, Ellie will assist. And once that's done, walk back out, mumbling some minor curses and things that sound like some type of burial or funerary type rites to.
Out of curiosity, what language is it?
Probably Sulawese.
One sec.
Chalu has no clue what you're saying.
You're familiar with the Sul, weren't you?
Well, I suppose it's true, but I don't know if he.
You might at least recognize the language.
Yeah.
So,
Alright,
should
so
we
I
try to
guess-
look for his camp around here if we can?
That's what I would say. It's the best thing to do. Yeah, vamoose at the stairs and back in.
Alright, so you all head back upstairs. And
Is there anyone outside or anything?
there is not.
Salem's gonna put the plate mail into the donkey's saddle bag.
Okay.
Alright.
I forgot y'all had taken that.
Well, I just had Salem in particular was carrying it, so that's why I did that.
A little 9-pound cat carrying like 40 pounds with arms.
He's
Stuff it
20
into a
pounds.
saddlebag.
Alright, so you all head back outside. What do you do now?
Alright, do we see any sort of paths leading?
You did not when you come in, and you don't see any now.
Alright.
Is anybody nature or survival savvy to be able to
I do have
possibly
survival.
Yeah.
possibly
Salem has
suss
it
out,
too.
Okay.
possibly
I have
suss out
both.
where somebody might take shelter nearby?
My nature's better though.
Yeah, or just see if there's signs of movement. A humanoid at least.
Alright, so who's doing the searching?
I got a +4.
A +5.
I have
Salem
plus,
has a +3.
+1.
It's Jalu's looking at its survival.
Well, why can't the whole party kind of split up a bit and look around?
Oh! Oh!
One.
I like this idea.
That's a brilliant idea.
Just an idea.
Alright, so the party's splitting up. That's what I
Are
heard.
we?
I immediately pair up with somebody.
So everybody goes in their own separate directions.
Salem's gonna take
That's what I heard.
them.
That's what the DM heard, was the party was splitting up.
He said they split up, and then I immediately rejoined.
Yeah. Split up and then immediately rejoined.
So y'all walked out, turned around, looked back at you guys, we ain't doing this shit.
We're getting the band back together.
It's good.
It's like the Beatles.
So Jalu's gonna attempt to try and find signs of movement.
Okay.
There's a particular direction, I guess.
If we're all putting our heads together, would Jalu get a bonus for that of some stripe?
No.
Okay. Let's go ahead.
I'm going to say no on this one.
There he is.
So you want me to roll? Oh, hey.
Survival, please, if you'd like to try looking around.
Alright. Well, shit.
Not the best roll.
Nope.
As you look around,
I don't know what I'm rolling for.
you're not rolling. As you look around, you are unable to determine a direction in which somebody might have come from. You're also unable to determine a spot where somebody might choose to hide out or seek shelter if they need be.
Alright. Somebody else want to give it a crack?
I can try nature.
You can try that.
I got I have a +1 nature and a +3 to survival, so.
Jalu just kind of glances
Oh,
around.
there you go.
Hey,
Nice.
All right. So, from your years of living in the wilderness as a tribesman in the prehistory, you see a rocky outcropping that somebody might take shelter underneath of in a severe storm or something like that, possibly.
alright, let's check this out, guys.
Let's give it a look-see.
Okay.
All right. So you wander over to the rocky outcropping. You as you all kind of look around, you can notice where somebody might have put up a tent and used it as kind of like a makeshift kind of hide, stay out of the the rain and the storms like that spot. But there's not like an encampment there. But you can definitely tell where somebody might have taken a spot to hide from severe weather.
Can we possibly search that area?
That is, I mean, you can look around, but that's what you're gonna find.
Nothing of.
You don't find any letters or no.
I halfway expected us to find an evil Skyrim bear.
Skyrim bears.
Guess I was just hoping they might have dropped something, but I was more careful than that. Anyway.
Yes, they were more careful than that.
I mean, we are only level 4, so a Skyrim bear would fuck us up.
True.
There's enough of y'all.
And we'd have a decent chance against a Skyrim bear.
There's enough healing potions and food.
So if we just take a bit of time to look around and see if there's any other places. Maybe. Unless somebody else has a better idea.
Short of wandering into the gnarly woods or walking around random lakes, I'm not sure what the next step is.
Go to that mine.
Very tenuous connection.
If we were going to check one of the mines or lakes, I suppose the small ones nearby would be the better choice.
I suppose so.
It did look like in their letters that they're about to finish something off in Gnarled Forest pretty soon, though, possibly. We may want to proceed there with all haste and try to find this hideout that was mentioned.
Probably.
I don't disagree.
I don't see why we shouldn't.
I don't disagree, but I just don't know where we'd be going. Just
Yeah.
randomly walking through the forest.
Sounds like it would take about as much time.
It is possible we might find more clues at the mines that were mentioned. It might be able to pin down where the hideout in the forest is.
Do we know the location of the mine on the map?
Not entirely. You have a general idea where it might be, but you don't have an exact mine location now. It was mentioned in passing by nobles. They did not give details. And they mentioned it in amongst themselves, not to you all directly.
Right.
So, you know that in the Gnarl Forest there's a hideout. You know that near a lake there was a spot. You know that there is a mine with suspicious lights. You know, you have a captain you spoke to that you all had made mention of might be an interesting thought to talk to. What do you wish to do? You also have a crazy person who got you info last time.
Stupid crazy people. Oh, I need to watch a recap from last week.
Let's see.
Use your heads. Take a minute and discuss this amongst yourselves. Take a minute and actually discuss what you all think should be the next plan. I'll give you 5 minutes. I need a drink anyway.
Okay.
Something being almost ready or just recently finished. To me implies importance.
Yes.
So I don't know how to get there.
Part of it. Yeah.
Here's me.
It's not a whole lot to go off of. Honestly. Maybe we could just see if there's any like locals about, see if they noticed anything.
Probably a good
Yeah.
idea.
I was thinking
Well,
as well.
They wanted Relina Mavis for something, though. Maybe to marry off to some posture of the king that they've created. Because I said something about that the voice is taking long to perfect. Oh, he actually wrote that wrong. Perfect. He wrote prefect here. Yeah, I printed out a hard copy of these letters, so I'm looking at it.
Yeah, autocorrect didn't get that right.
Yeah.
Like tomb is tome.
If the dude that was beheaded, that was holding Raylene or whatever Mavis, if he was working with these people, the plan was to get the mines. Unless he went, you know, off script.
The last letter we got here says she's a level of porns and her loss will mean her father will still be standing in her way, so I wonder if they're going to use her to strong arm him one way or the other.
Well, they were trying to use her to get the mines. So either there's something in the mines or they needed funding. By getting control of the mines, I guess they were going to remove whatever obstacle he was for them.
They are trying to increase their religious power, and what better way than to replace the king and say, oh, Wastri's the national god now.
National god.
Kingdom god, whatever.
Yeah, I just don't like that the only thing we really know about the mine is that it was just talked about, and these weird things happening, because we don't really have any idea if that has anything to do with anything.
Does anybody know if that's one of the Mavis's mines?
I don't think so. Although I don't think any of us know that kind of stuff.
So I'm having a hard time finding the gnarly forest on the map. Where is
Should be the southwest.
Southwest of Greyhawk.
Okay, let me rephrase. I don't know
Very
where
close.
Greyhawk is on the map either. I'm having a hard time finding it.
On Greyhawk map, dead center is a lake called Near Div.
Yeah.
Greyhawk is in the
Shit,
southwest
once.
corner,
Yep.
right across from the little mountain range.
So it's quite
Okay,
a
okay, I see it.
Found it.
Because
The gnarly forest is directly southwest of it, like 3 hexes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
so I think the hexes are quite
And where
large.
are we? In the corn hills over here, right?
We're in the sea
There.
of Cairn
Sea.
Hills.
Yeah, that hex right up to the shore, basically, of the lake. Almost.
Why is there a giant purple arrow in the plains of?
That's
Oh,
where Galactor's from.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why there's a giant purple arrow there.
He's from the Sultanate of Zelf.
Yep.
Nice. Much me strong here. Got it.
So what's the city here? This Davers?
Divers, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, could go there and see what's up, but it's like, again,
They're Narwhal. Both of them are
Yeah,
on
if we're
that-
heading that way, we might as well go to Greyhawk and get some information too.
yeah.
It's pretty much on our way.
Oh, seriously.
So did y'all figure it out yet?
Um,
No.
Long shot, but nobody else has suddenly remembered anything they forgot, did you?
no. I think you were mentioning, asking if any of us knew if the mines possibly belong to the Mavises, but I don't think we know that information.
Right, if the one mine where lights had been seen, if that's owned by the Mavises.
I don't think we figured.
Y'all never inquired about that, no.
That would have been useful to have done that. Maybe we can go back. Be like, hey, what's up? So you said we vaguely know the direction of the mine, right? Or where it could be or something.
You know vaguely in what direction it could be, but that's about as far as you know.
Okay. So if we like headed back to Greyhawk, would it be sort of on the way? Or would we go in opposite direction?
It's somewhere this direction. But you aren't certain. You aren't certain. It's somewhere in the Cairn Hills,
Oh, okay.
but you aren't sure where in the Cairn Hills. Because the Cairn Hills are not small. They extend for, like, every square, every hex is 5 miles. It's a day's travel. Actually, it's 2 days travel for the hills.
It's about as large as the gnarly forest.
Yeah. Every hex is 2 days travel, basically. Because you're going through hills. Same way with the forest.
So if we're in the sea, how close are we to Mid-Bay? Or is that what that says? Yeah, Mid-Bay.
Mid-Bay.
It's the lake, part of near Div, directly north of us.
You're near it. You can get there in a day. You'd have to go from the sea, basically up that one hex to the left.
I don't know, what do y'all think?
I will tell you all. You all have all the clues. It's just putting the clues together.
In my notes here, I'm looking them over. Apparently, what I wrote down here is that the mine's near Hard Bay.
Hardby.
Yeah.
So that would be down south of Greyhawk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's that?
And Abwarals were close to it.
I mean, Marcia just said it was like somewhere in the Cairn Hills, so
The ones... within my notes again. Let me double check. Make sure I'm not going to give you all the wrong information. I might have given you all the wrong information, which would not be surprising to me.
I'm just not sure how we're supposed to collate all this into.
It's not a simple answer, but I will tell you, you have all the clues. Or most of the clues. Let me phrase it that way. You have most of the clues. There might be a clue or two y'all are missing, but...
I'm assuming some of these clues came before I joined.
A few of them, yeah. You weren't here for the party and all that stuff, so yes.
Ow.
I actually don't have that written down. The mine... Do you know someone would be up at the Cairn Hills? Mostly. Most of the mines up in the Cairn Hills are owned by them, are owned by people living in Greyhawk. Or in and around Greyhawk, so... So,
I think we should go talk to Boric.
who is
If
Boric?
that's his name. I'm terrible with names. Crazy guy.
Oh,
Borin Keensey.
Borin Keensey.
Bor and Borg, same thing.
No, they're different people.
Maybe they're two people inside the same person.
No, they're not. There-
Schizophrenia.
There is a Boric, and I can tell you, he is not the same person. He is a vastly different character.
Boric Ningslayer and Borin Kingslayer. Got it.
Borin Scene Keeper.
See?
Same thing. So, in one of the letters, he mentions that the crazy man has been keeping tabs on the group and may have information. Maybe.
Yes. Yes, it's true.
He provided us with information leading to the location we are now.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
Talking
he
about the
doesn't know
crazy
more.
guy.
Yes.
So we return to Greyhawk then, maybe?
So,
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Don't know what else we can do here. Besides just aimlessly look around and waste time.
Is there a library we can still book from? and then put it back, and then seal it again.
To then make a copy of it, to put the copy back and keep the original?
I guess we're just going back to Grey.
For the time being.
Yeah.
Temporarily.
As all things are.
Alright, so you all begin your journey back to Greyhawk.
That's for the.
Yep.
Through their stomach, just to see what he got.
Yeah. Does Chandler have time to carve on the way over?
Sure.
Alright.
Trying to remember what you're carving.
Basically just some like figurine of a sorts of a statue he saw back in his training days and stuff.
Okay.
At the temple. Or whatever.
Yeah, you'd be plenty of time to do that. You can whittle all the way.
See, I don't find anything interesting, or any interesting food, or you, whatever you come up with.
You got a squirrel.
Yeah.
And a mouse. A small field mouse. Do you feed the party the mouse?
No, Salem's gonna keep that for himself.
What are we gonna do with the mouse?
Ask the cat.
Salem already ate it. Is gonna eat it. Not gonna serve that to the party. And I don't think we'll serve up the squirrel though, among whatever else he found.
You made a nice squirrel stew with some grapes and a nice little rosary sauce.
What sauce?
A rosary sauce. Made from boiled rose petals.
Interesting.
Okay, nice red wine without.
Yes, pretty much. So, you all venture for a couple days and eventually make it back into Greyhawk.
A couple of days.
Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, basically a couple days. About 3, basically. Because you got 2 across there, 1 across there, and you're in Greyhawk. So yeah, you made 3 days.
Alright.
I mean, we can make it more if you want it to be more. I don't mind. So you wander back into Greyhawk. The town is very much a bustle right now. Much more than you've seen it since you've been here.
Really?
Yes.
What's going on?
You aren't sure.
Can you try to like listen into some conversations?
Sure. So you listen in, you pay attention. Something apparently is happening today. Supposedly this afternoon.
Okay.
Supposedly the king is going to come out and give a speech
Oh shit.
before the entirety of the city. From the balcony of the castle.
He wants to bet it's not going to be the king that's actually up there doing it.
I'll bet you 5 gold it's not gonna be him.
So when the story said the preparations were by the river, yeah, I had some theories on that, but now that it's by a lake, it doesn't really match up with other
Yeah.
information to make that theory.
What theory is that?
The note was actually fairly old, and it had more to do with the king's disappearance, and they may have replaced him with a doppelganger.
Thought about that too.
I will tell you, you are barking up a right tree.
Guys, I have a strange feeling. The king's been replaced.
I'm not saying that's what's happened, though.
That is basically saying that's what happened.
Okay, so it's a lake connected to a river then.
Essentially, yes.
That
my-
only rules out none of them. Well, at the very least, I would convey that information to the group.
You would have connected that based on the letters and the no information you had. Your character would have conveyed that at some point.
And my notes have it that that the king was found dazed and confused on his way back from Narwhal.
Yes.
Is that true or factual? Well,
That
would-
is factual.
That would suggest the lake that is in question would be the one between here and Narwhal.
As I said, you all had all the notes you needed.
Well, I don't have all the notes.
You as a party have all the information you need.
I can't play connect the dot if half the dots are missing from my paper.
You watched every episode.
I skimmed them.
Oh, good God.
I listened to
I
them
need
while
to
I
get
was
caught up on last
working.
episode. The first hour from this episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know then that the preparations were in the past. They have already happened. There's nothing there to find
Something's
anymore.
culminating now.
My instinct is that the king has been either conditioned or replaced.
Is there
Sure,
any
would
way-
agree with that.
At the very least, they also stole a copy of his signet so they could falsify documents.
Probably so.
And it would make sense then that the gnarly forest hideout is probably close to that lake.
Probably.
Something with preparations would mean probably a lot of equipment. Especially if it took 2 days, they would have to be taking wagons in and out of there. There might still be trails.
Possibly so.
Should we check it out?
Let's
Well,
go
not
check
right now.
it
The king's about to commit suicide.
What?
out.
Yeah, we'll just watch that happen first.
Yeah, let's watch the king commit suicide and go find the real king. Sure.
Well, if we're assuming he's been replaced, we at least need to know what he's about to say or do.
Probably.
Wouldn't hurt.
Does it mean if we're gonna do something else anyway, it's gonna probably happen? Anyways, might as well have the information at hand. Guys. Oh boy, well, I feel like we should probably be doing something to prevent whatever is going to happen. Not sure. Unless there's some way to like undisguise the names. I don't know.
I doubt you all have managed to ingratiate yourselves with the court yet, have you?
Not really, no.
So,
We do have an end with the Mavis family, though.
You remember the
Look at
Mavises
her
are the
hand
wealthy,
and-
and you also remember the Mavises are the wealthiest people in all of Greyhawk.
We may be able to leverage the assistance provided to them to gain audience with somebody in the court. Or one of the king's valets or something.
You will also remember that he will be speaking. That you've heard that he will speak from the balcony of the castle.
Yeah, right before he jumps. So then the question is, do we want to attempt to present the false signet in hopes of trying to do something to
I mean, we could
figure out what's going on before he does his thing, just in case, or do we want to hold on to it?
try.
While I'm...
Do we have any idea how imminent this thing is going to be, or not sure? This whole speech thing.
This afternoon.
While I'm not one to be looking to take advantage of it for personal gain, I could see a bit of usefulness if we needed documents ourselves to allow us to do something in the King's name in the future, if we don't want to turn over the Signet mold.
We have had a long rest in between of all this because it's taken multiple days.
Yeah.
So maybe we should seek a audience with the Mavises and see if they'll help us. Get word, whatever. I don't know.
In passing, we might be able to find out. We might be able to find out if the glowing mine is one of theirs or not.
That we have proof of the Cold of Lost Tree is gonna pull something too, involving them, or at one time that they attempted to.
Yes, we could also leverage the notes to try to gain assistance from the city, or the Mavises, or whomever else.
See, now you're starting to put things together and actually think.
Well, the priorities were a bit different when it sounded like preparations somewhere were about to be finished and we needed to go and mess it up. Oh, yeah, for sure he's been replaced.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Well, I was going back through the notes, the first one. The voice has taken longer to perfect than originally planned. So it's absolutely...
Yeah, he's been replaced.
Well, the Mavis is gonna have a lot of political capital, so they will be able to say something against this fake king, though.
We probably need to stop the king.
Yeah, but a bunch of heroes really can't do a lot on their own like that. Cause they can
Sure we
succeed them.
can, because we have connection with the Mavises to be able to get audience with, let's say, the Royal Guard, to show them proof or at least evidence that the king has been possibly subverted. If they're replacing the king, it's very possible they don't have a contingent within the Royal Guards or anything like that, so we might be able to gain their assistance in stopping him from saying whatever horrible thing he's about to do. Does that make sense?
Sounds like a plan.
I wasn't here for what you said, but sure, let's do that.
Go for it.
So I went back. I was going back through the notes,
Yeah.
and one of the first ones that was talking about the preparations by the lake or river
Yeah.
states that the voice has taken longer to perfect than planned, so he's definitely been replaced. In which
Yes.
case, he's not going to do something stupid like throw himself off the balcony. He's
Yeah,
probably
he's-
about to say something dumb like, "Hey, we're going to war."
Yeah.
But are
So-
the Royal Guards gonna
So-
really just believe us because
we
we
need to
said?
somehow stop them.
Well, we can show proof that the signet ring has been falsified,
Yeah.
and also there's stuff saying, stuff about preparing a position by the lake, the voice being perfected, the fact the king was found coming back from that same area. We might be able to get them to look into it.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
think
but should we go to the Mavises first and get them to come with
We
us
would-
one way or the other, or
we're
set
gonna
up
need to
something?
do that anyways, because
We would have to use the Mavises to have the type of the connection to be able to vouch for us that we're not just random assholes walking up and trying to
Yeah.
interrupt the event.
Yeah.
And we
Well-
could definitely get their assistance between saving his daughter and having proof
Yes.
that there's a group trying to fuck them over,
Yeah.
who now has the power of the king to be able to fuck him over.
Yes.
That's
So
my
Jeff
suggestion.
Davis is then. That's what I'd say then.
Sounds good.
What I'm hearing is the party has a foolproof plan that can never go awry.
No.
It's a good thing it's foolproof because we're just a bunch of fools.
He's not wrong.
We could never
The
pull this
biggest
off
fools that ever existed in all of history.
across different points of history.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do we want to have a backup plan where one or both of the rogues kind of stay behind just in case they need to bring somebody?
More like so both the rogues can survive and run away.
Backup plan is fucking wing it.
Backup plan is everybody dies and hopes you're saved by God. Right?
You have a go lock door. That's all that you need.
Rocks fall, everybody dies. Good job,
God.
Dugue.
God told me I'd be fine. The rest of you, you're fucked.
Somebody finds a way to cast silence on the speech.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Nobody
I
will tell you.
mean, so that's level 2 or 3 for wizardies. Actually, I do have it.
Oh, sweet.
There you go.
If we could figure out some way to get up there, though, what's the range?
120 feet.
Okay.
So what is the plan now?
No, that's plan B.
This plan has changed drastically. Now let's get close
No,
and cast
no, no,
silence. Huh?
That was two
The
plans.
plan is exactly the same. Plan B is now the silence to stop whatever he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Interesting plan.
Foolproof.
Yep.
At least you got a contingency plan when this all goes to hell.
Yeah. Alright. So head to Mavis's, right?
I believe so.
If that is what y'all wish to do.
Let's do it.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, you jaunter up to the Mavises.
Jaunter, yes. While I quickly make our way as fast as we can to.
Yes, y'all run to the Mavises. You're met by one of the house guards. And she goes, "Ah, heroes! The saviors of the young lady. How may the Mavises family be of assistance to you?"
We would like to seek audience with Lord Lady Mavis. Matter is urgent.
He looks at you, well, I'm sorry, the Lord and Lady Mavis are rather indisposed in a very important matter at the moment.
Who are they talking with?
They're not here. I could take them a message, I suppose. After they are finished.
Simply want to do you know where they are at?
They're in the castle.
Chalu has has an exasperated look on his face.
If a message can be delivered to them, they can be asked to come out and meet us.
Yes. Would it be possible to
We possibly could. I believe the meeting with the king would be completed within about the next hour.
Well, Bartoli just about to say, "Oh, fuck," but then he just curses. He curses and he just curses under his breath.
Well, out of character, since the Mavis is right there with the supposed king, we could just cut all the paperwork out and just go to Mavis, just talk to Mavis a bit, and then present it what's going on.
I thought you said we could cut all three of them.
Yeah.
3 birds with 1 fireball.
Because we could just talk to
First of all,
Mavis,
level
and
5,
then
they're
Mavis
all
can
dead.
present whatever's going on.
I'm not one that likes to have NPCs do my adventuring for me.
Or Mavis can vouch for us then.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Well, so maybe we should have them take us to him immediately. Tell them that it's most urgent.
Well, we'll ask them. Is it possible somebody could take us someplace? Shit, I don't know how to word this. Hang on.
Just tell me what you want to do.
Is there somebody who can be sent in to let them know we need their attention as soon as possible?
He will.
Because
He will look at you.
likely
And go,
to be-
yes. I could send a message to them and have them meet you as soon as possible.
how
So
quickly
the
could you send that message?
Well, it would take time, obviously, and they are in the meeting with the king. But as soon as they are out, I'm sure their message can be met, and they can be brought to for you.
Could a runner be sent to be waiting for them to finish their meeting? It's of utmost importance. It,
Of course.
concerns attempts on their holdings.
Yes, and
Couldn't we follow the runner and just wait for them outside the door?
I mean,
Wouldn't that runner kind of have enough clout for us to be there too?
It's as close as we can get.
Well, do we want to wait or should we crash the meeting?
I would say wait.
Because they don't know that we killed Joffrey yet.
If we alert the
Godfrey,
false
sorry.
king, he's going to call us out and have us arrested. We need
Probably.
to meet with
Yeah, we need to
contingent around him
get it
and
ready.
show them that the king is not the true king.
Yes.
Let's go with that then.
So the idea is to get the Mavises to vouch for us so we can get into the point where we can make contact with, hopefully, trustworthy guards of rank within the castle.
And if
Should we
there's
maybe
no-
consider bribing these guys to like make it real fast as they can?
Bribing who?
Oh, we don't really have to bribe them. I guess we could. I mean, they know what happened to the daughter, so we could literally show them the papers,
Yeah.
and that would be enough clout from us to be like, oh, this is goes beyond. Unless we're talking to a mole.
Yeah, I would just go for bribing.
Who are we looking to bribe?
Just whoever's going to do whatever, just so they're motivated to.
Just whoever we come across.
I'm getting confused now. Who are you trying to bribe and why?
I'm also...
So you're mentioning they could send somebody, right, to notify the Mavis.
They could send a runner, yes, to give the Mavises a notice.
So
yes.
if we say bribe that guy to hurry the fuck up, because otherwise he might just be like, oh, la-di-da, it's not a big thing.
He will go stand outside the door and wait for the Mavises to be outside their meeting.
It's not like we're calling Uber to go deliver this message. The dude works directly for the Mavises.
Yeah, that's fair. But I was just.
If he fucks up, he's not gonna have a job and maybe a life.
That's why I'm really confused. Like, you're acting like he's not going to go deliver this message for some random reason. Like, my understanding is the message is for them to meet you all, right? That's
Yeah.
as soon as possible.
Yes.
Right.
You would understand that he would not just deviate from that message. He would go deliver that message as soon as he can. It has been implied, however, that he will not deliver that message until they are done meeting with the king. Because it would
Right.
be outside of...
Right.
And we asked for him to make himself available to deliver it as quickly as possible once that meeting is done.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, he would wait outside the door till they are finished, until such time as they are done, and then we meet with them to tell them that message. Because it would be a breach of ceremony or protocol or whatever you want to call it to interrupt a meeting with the king.
Right.
False or not.
So I guess then we'll just have to hope we get in there quick enough then. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, more or less.
Where are you trying to get into?
Well, not really. I mean, just an audience with them real quick to be like, hey, there's this shit going on. So not really
okay.
in, just like have them meet us.
So we're trying to get, because I'm assuming we can't get into the castle on our own merit, correct?
You would think it would be very difficult to be let inside the castle, yes.
So we basically need to be standing at the VIP rope, waiting for the Mavises to come out and wave us in, so that, or to get us audience with, let's say the Seneschal or whoever does the day-to-day for the king, so that we can make the case that the king needs to be stopped because he's an imposter.
Yeah.
We're not trying to go to the king himself.
And have Ellie on standby in case speech starts to happen and you gotta silence it.
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
Sure, there's nothing gonna go wrong with this.
Oh, there's probably a shit ton that can go wrong, but doesn't
Alright.
matter. Wing it.
The good news is, silence doesn't have a save.
Okay.
It's just
Jo-
automatic.
Jello will ask them to send a runner.
Okay.
So
They send a young lad to inform the Mavises to meet with you as soon as possible.
Alright. I think we should go there. Go as
Yeah, I think we should definitely make ourselves available as possible.
So follow the runner and just tell him we'll be waiting at somewhere at the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably accompany him basically up to the gate, and then wherever the guards stop us, we'll wait there for them to call us in.
Yeah.
Or to come to us and talk to us, whichever.
Alright, so you follow the runner. He runs ahead and he leaves you all behind. Because he's a runner.
We should have saw this coming.
Yeah. He is running at full speed as he has been ordered to run to the Mavises and give them this message, and he just takes off booking it. Flying to the town as you all try and keep up.
Well, we know where the castle is, right?
Yes, you all know where the castle
So-
is. It's a big ass castle at the top of the hill. Y'all can't miss it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can.
The castle.
It's if you look on the map, it's the giant H. Just above that, it's a giant H1. If you look on your sheets.
Town map?
I'm sharing it now.
It's loading, I guess, on mine.
It will take a second.
Ah, yes, the keep.
That is the castle.
Okay, so we'll probably at least be able to get up to the gate.
You get up to that front gate, basically. And you basically get up there, and you see the runner run in, you know. Basically, they realize who he is. They look at you all and go, "Halt!" He goes, "What business do you have here?"
We're here to see the... What was their names again?
Mavises.
The Mavises.
The Mavises are an important business. You may not be in. They will see you when they are done.
Very well, then.
And we will wait here until then.
Are there a lot of people around, or what's kind of around there at the gate?
There's a lot of guards around.
So, quick question. So where is, looking at the castle there, where would the balcony kind of be situated?
The balcony is actually extended from the front. It actually extends over top of like the wall, basically. And you can kind of look down, and you can see where kind of like, people would gather along the outside of the wall and stuff like that. So you could be seen.
Can we judge the distance between those, the balcony and the...
Sure.
Okay.
From where you're standing, it's a good distance. Like, disadvantage with a crossbow?
Like,
No.
question, is it kind of, is it on the flat part there, or is it kind of like where the road's going into the castle?
It is on the flat part.
Does Fantasy Grounds have an ability to be able to like put a pointer on the map where we're looking at?
I don't know if y'all have that.
Tool, I think.
Yeah, there's a drawing tool.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if it was like some others where you can like hold down space bar to
So,
put
Bartorn has a crossbow, right?
a...
I'm just saying. What do
I
you do?
mean, I have. What do I have? I have. Hang on, I have a
You're
short
up there where the
bow.
red is, I take it then?
Because, well, I was just
Yes.
saying, might be familiar with the range of it. Might see if feels like a range like that would be enough to be somewhat, accurate with. I don't know. I'm just trying to elucidate here.
It's far.
Does it make sense? Like, I'm basically just trying to see if it's like within crossbow range.
Disadvantage with a crossbow is what he says. That's gonna be
Okay.
a couple hundred feet at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's up and back.
And you probably want a longbow, maybe? And actually, no, a crossbow would be better because you get more.
Probably a heavy
Are
crossbow.
there any accessible spots where I'm maybe a little closer?
So we're assassinating the king now.
You wouldn't be able to get too much closer based on the way the...
Sorry. Say that again.
You wouldn't be able to get too much closer because of the way the walls are designed. There's a little slope. It's kind of more flat back away from it, and there's kind of an upslope as a kind of a defensive measure outside from the road.
Right.
And where's the closest ballista?
On top of the guard towers.
I can climb to the top of the guard tower.
Yeah,
But climbing doesn't affect me. I have second story climb. I think, or is that next level? I forget.
It's like a story work.
Yeah, that. Is that 4th level or 5th level? I get that.
I don't recall.
So, I guess what you're saying is it's without having.
So you all are standing out here kind of looking up at this castle and the ballistas and kind of gauging distance, right?
Yeah. Kinda, yeah.
I mean, casually.
The guards are taking some notice of that.
Alright.
Just be like, I like that ballista. That's a nice ballista.
The guards...
You come here often?
Fancy drink. So the guards have taken notice, but keeping an eye on you. Especially seeing you don't look like the kind of people who would be around the castle, generally speaking.
We're judging the best acoustics for the speech.
I want to hear it better.
Uh-huh.
We need to find the convergence point where all of the sound comes together for the maximum fidelity.
Yep.
Right. They continue watching you all for a while. Have you developed a plan yet?
Yes. We wait for them to come talk to us, so we can try to get inside under their,
While we're
with them
waiting,
vouching for us.
trying to see if there's a point where Ellie can get to that she'd be within range to do the silence spell. But
There are spots, but she would
We're up on the
basically be
wall.
standing out by herself.
yeah, it would
And
be suspicious.
There's not really a spot where she could hide in amongst a group and do it.
Yeah,
I expect if it comes to that, it's going to be a frantic, like, hanging out a window to do it or something, so I'm not too concerned about finding the best spot to sit for it.
okay.
Don't know why they care so much.
It's plan B. I mean, plan A
Yeah,
is
I
already
know.
gonna nail it, so we don't gotta worry about plan B.
That's the spirit.
It's foolproof. The DM said it himself. Even we can't fuck it up.
I don't know about that.
About them words you should be careful with saying.
Nonsense.
Famous last words, right?
Famous first words.
Yeah. This is where things become legendary.
Yes.
Legend, wait for it, airy.
So,
It's
how
gonna be
long?
legend, and I hope you're not allergic to milk, because the next word is dairy.
Jesus. So, how long does it take this thing?
For them to come out?
Yeah.
A little over an hour.
Hmm.
So you see the Mavises come jaunting out. They notice you standing there. And you go, is our daughter alright?
There's an urgent matter that needs to be discussed.
Yes. Our daughter's okay, isn't she?
It doesn't have to do with your daughter.
Yeah, she's doing quite well from last I recall.
Yes.
Last we
Might
saw.
Glocktor say we might want to talk, away from other ears, so we can get into like a more private, secluded area, even if it's not in the castle, just away from
just
the gate.
step away from some others.
I don't know if they allow us inside the gate since the
Probably.
Mavises are here.
The most secluded place would be at our home.
Yeah, we're thinking more like stepping off to the side and speaking quietly.
It's an urgent matter, and
As whispers,
yes.
Suspiciously in front of the guards.
Yes.
Yes. Right beside the castle where the guy is supposed to give a speech not a couple hours from now.
Yeah, but we're right next to like the wealthiest and most like whatever prestigious. There's the word. Family in the city. We're fine.
Yes.
Clearly, no way anybody could get suspicion from this.
Well, if they question it, we'll just say we're the ones who saved their daughter.
Yes, step over here. You see them step over to the side. I kind of wait for everybody. Alright, fine. What is it?
Well, we suspect the king may not be who he seems. We've discovered some plot that's been hatched by some followers. Of a
Same
certain-
people who took your daughter.
Yes.
And
But
they
you
have-
killed the people who took my daughter.
They have friends who have eyes on things you own.
Yes.
You want to show
And,
them the papers?
Yeah. Just show the papers and the ring thing and all that.
Yeah, we'll hold the ring back for now, but
Okay.
just in case.
They mentioned perfecting a voice. We believe to mean the king's voice.
Make mention of the time where the king was found near the river.
And everything that we have learned suggests that this is the same incident from when the king went missing.
This is an impossibility. Somebody would have noticed. So we would have noticed the signet being gone. So we would have noticed his behavior being differently.
Unless the signet were replaced.
And how did they plan to do that?
Exactly the same.
Have one of the rogues discreetly show them the signet mold that we found.
Salem will pull it out, kind of carefully,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like kind of cup it in his hand so people can't really see it.
Yeah.
So you can see that it looks like the signet there, and they press into that clay.
This was recovered from the same people that had these letters.
That is still not proof.
But it's
Besides-
enough to raise suspicion, wouldn't you say? Perhaps, given this information, the ones closest to the king may realize something that they have seen off, but they didn't realize.
What are you suggesting?
We would like your assistance to gain audience with some of the people close to the king, his personal guards. Do they have a seneschal here? I don't know what the...
I don't know what a Sinshot is, so...
It's a king's advisor or assistant who typically deals with a lot of the day-to-day.
He would have
It's like
he would have, he would have an
like
advisor.
a right-hand man.
He would have an advisor. I don't know, but they called it Sinshah.
Kind of like how Jafar was, for the
Yeah,
Sultan.
basically.
Basically, we
Yeah.
need assistance with this investigation, and as we cannot enter the castle,
Do you know what this looks like? An attempt at
Yeah.
treason.
I don't believe it's an attempt. I believe it's already happened.
No, by you all. If you present this information without any more proof than that, it looks like you're trying to subvert the king.
Instead, you would have an imposter go up there and make a speech today saying who knows what.
Yes. Possibly.
What if his statement is that he's going to nationalize all of the holdings, the ones that make your family so prestigious around here?
He is not going to do that, and I know because I just met with the man.
What's he gonna say?
It does not matter what he's going to say. What matters is what this looks like. You present papers. It can be forged by anybody. You could have written them yourself, and you present a clay mold. You don't have anything. If you present this to an advisor, he will have you thrown in jail.
understand that. One way or another, we must prevent what is about to happen.
What is so dire about what is happening? What is fixing to happen? He's going to give a speech to the crowd.
Does he mention what the topic is?
Yes, he mentions the fact that he is given a vision. That he was saved by a god.
Oh God, no.
Would this god's name be Wastri?
Wastri.
I don't know.
I have a
$20
feeling
says
it
it's
is.
Wastri.
What if it is? That doesn't change anything. You can't stop it.
Guys, Wastri's what we're trying to prevent.
Okay, sidebar, guys.
Yeah, sidebar. Hold on a minute, please. Huddle up,
We
guys.
need a sidebar from the sidebar.
So y'all step away from the... So basically the guards are sitting y'all watching y'all stand there talk to the Mavises. And then they see you all step off to the side and huddle. And have a conversation.
And then in the middle of that, a group of us all say, alright, then we step away from the group.
Like, well, fuck, it looks like Wastri's already got. It's as we feared. Wastri is.
I feel like we know what they're going to say, and now I'm not even sure that Sir Mavis here hasn't been influenced in some way. I would like to hear what the king is going to say, so that we are prepared for it, and then we need to go and find the real king.
He's most likely going to say that the vision of Wastri. He'll probably say that, not outlawing other worship, but to worship this god more. More worshippers mean that god now has more power. As a cleric, you should know, the more followers
That's actually how
God.
it works, but regardless.
It is.
Currently, Wall Street doesn't even have a deity status.
The party has been informed by Astus that belief in a god gives the god its strength, and that a demigod can gain into godhood by getting enough people to believe in them being a god, and that removing belief from another god will weaken that god.
$20 says they're going to change the worship to whatever god they currently worshipped to Wastri.
Even if they do, that's not going to cause everybody to immediately abandon their faith.
I mean, this is the king we're talking about, but at the same time,
It's not uncommon for people to give, whatever you call it, I can't think of the word right now, but basically to pray to multiple gods, depending on whatever whatever is happening in their life at that moment that they need assistance.
Theocracy?
I don't doubt what you're saying. I'm pretty sure it's something along those lines, but I still want to know exactly what he's going to say so that we're not caught unaware should he slip something in that we don't expect.
All I know is we were sent here, Max, to stop whatever.
I'm loving the paranoia at this point. It's so fantastic. Juicy.
Bad idea.
Well, it sounds like Sir Mavis there is about ready to turn us in himself. If we were to press him.
We could ask what information he needs to be 100%, you know, to believe us, without trying to force him into believing us.
Right. Then we have to go find that proof. And by the time we find it, might be already too late.
Or we may already have it on our person. We just don't know what he needs.
Okay. I'm not sure what else we could show.
Doctor looks over at Lord Mavis. What would you need to cement our accusations or our...
So now the guards have watched you all step up to the side and have a conversation, and then turned back to Lord Mavis, and you see Lord Mavis walk over to the group, and now start having a conversation again.
Yeah, it's like a Mass Effect conversation.
Exactly. He will just
Just walk in and out of frame.
yes, especially if it's 3 or Andromeda, and then their head spins upside down. Anyway, he will look at you and goes, I need concrete. If you're going to do this, to oust the king as being an imposter, you would need concrete proof that he is an imposter. Letters are not concrete proof. Anybody could have written them. And a mold is just a mold. You would need proof. You would need unquestionable proof that he is not who he says he is. Proof that he is not of royal lineage. That is the only way you would get anybody to believe you.
Shouldn't he have his amulet on him, or that box for the amulet?
The signet?
No. Remember the box that we gave the bad guy at the very beginning?
I think that was a different kingdom. That was the kingdom of Airdrie, something like that.
No, it's the same kingdom. It was the box that held the signet. You also recall that was given as a copy of that box. He goes, what would that accomplish? How do you prove that the man standing there giving that speech is not the man who says he is? Hard proof is what's necessary. Simple, excusable piece of information or not.
Expect us to prove that this guy's an imposter.
So, sidebar again.
Another channel, guys. Another channel.
It has a save, but Zone of Truth might come in handy.
But wouldn't that also be attacking?
Necessarily.
Yeah, not necessarily.
It's also only 60 feet.
Right. But yeah, we would basically need to somehow get him close enough that we could ask him questions and then cause him to admit things.
How we do that?
Fantastic question.
I'm not sure because Mavis seems against helping us get in.
Right. Unless we have some concrete proof.
Which I'm not sure what we're going to get between. What time is it now in game?
It's mid-afternoon.
And
So
when
it
is
is like
the
a-
speech?
About an hour and a half now.
So we've got about 45 minutes to get something and a little less to get back with it.
Uh-huh.
Which to me leaves only Borin Dragon Slayer, whatever his name was.
Going Kingseeker.
Same thing.
We didn't bring up that we delivered that box, though.
We don't want to bring that up. Because it sounds like you delivered. Sounds like you delivered a counterfeit item to help pass off the other counterfeit item.
Yeah.
I think y'all should just forget that ever happened.
You only made a counterfeit item to the bad guy, who may or may not be using that same item to pass off a counterfeit item to make a guy who may or may not be the counterfeit king appear as a legitimate king.
No, all things definitely happened.
So when you really think about it, we just need to ask Istus to hit the reset button.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can we go back to like the
Can
big...
you just, can we go back to start?
Everybody heard me say
Have a
quick load,
do-over?
right?
Alright, everybody, back to start. Everybody, run out the entrance, let's reset.
Alright,
fuck
I'll
this
be
one
back
up.
in
Let's
7
restart.
seconds.
I don't even know.
So... Yeah. I'm not sure how they're doing the disguise, whether it's magical or if they just found somebody that looks exactly like him or what.
Don't know.
So what do y'all think?
I think we're fucked.
Go the assassination route.
Wow.
Hey, we kill the false king, find the true king.
And then get thrown in prison.
Wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Probably find the real king first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably good idea. So find the real king, kill the fake king, wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Well, should we listen to his speech and then go see if we can find the gnarled wood hideout, see what we could find there?
I guess.
Although apparently
Yeah.
we have everything we need to know to prove it.
No, I said you had all the notes to progress the plot. I never said you had all the notes and information to stop everything.
We've come to the point where we have to advance the plot in some way, shape, or form, either by killing the king, false king, or letting the false king spread his lies about the theocracy of fucking Washington.
I mean,
Charlie's definitely.
I'm fairly convinced.
Basically.
Fairly convinced it's not just gonna be like, oh, he says Wall Street is good now, everybody believe him. Like, Wall Street's got a history.
Yeah, but the question is, we're at basically year 0. Do these people know about Wall Street, though? That's the question. That's the million gold question.
I don't know about
The
that.
answer may surprise you.
Gods and stuff like that come and go as they please.
Right.
Some come into favor, some go out of favor.
Well, and the other thing is the king might go all Henry VIII on this and declare himself head of all religious matters kind of thing.
Start sleeping with like different women and just like killing them.
Whatever's happening is another notch in Western score.
Well, you'll,
Any way we can stop it. It's,
anybody without rounded ears will be happy to know Wall Street is a human supremacist. So, enjoy.
So, sidebar done, or y'all continue on the sidebar conversation?
I got nothing else for sidebar.
Yeah, sidebar over.
Sidebar done.
So should we listen to his speech and then get the hell out of town and try to
Yeah.
find that
I'll
hideout?
just let the Mavises know we have those concerns, and even though we don't have proof.
So should we tell the Mavises to keep their eyes and ears open, just in case the king is up to something?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Is the king single, by the way?
Plan C, the cat seduces the king.
Not what I was
The
really
king
going.
swipes right on Tinder.
It's not where you were going, but that's where we're sending you.
Cat people,
I
that's
heard
my
you like
house.
Trinity.
The cat doesn't. The cat. The king does not married and has no pets.
Does he want one?
Yes, maybe.
Well, I just wondered if they were going to take Relina Mavis to marry off to the king,
Hmm.
or it was an strong arm technique or something.
Who knows?
So we have like the guards at the gate, and then like guards at the front door, just kind of like what the fuck are these guys doing over there?
Yeah.
What about
Y'all have guards watching you all, to a degree. Like, there are guards on the walls patrolling and stuff like that, and they have noticed you all standing there having a conversation with the Mavises.
Right. So we're just gonna let it happen.
do you have
Doesn't
any other
sound
better ideas?
Doesn't sound like we have the means to stop it. Unless we wanted to go into full frontal assault mode.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the Chippendale approach could work.
Brown chicken.
The what?
I think he was meaning Chippendale's Rescue Rangers, but Galactor has already started finding him a Chris Farley, so he's started.
Seven did say full frontal assault, so
Okay, so it did mean Rescue Rangers.
Okay.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
I don't know, y'all got any ideas?
No.
Plan A, or my plan A died with Mavis. Plan B died with the height of the thing and the fact that it wouldn't
Yes.
actually stop him.
So much for that foolproof plan, huh?
Apparently Mark's underestimated just how big of fools we are.
There's
No.
too many odds around for Galactor's plan.
What was Galactor's plan?
Galactor was going to cast invisibility on the rogues and let them get close and see what information they could find out without stabbing people.
Sneak in. I mean, we could. That's up to them.
It's an option.
But too many eyes on us right here.
Yeah.
possible court wizard or something too. That and Salem glows pretty bright under tech magic or something means.
He pretty much glows like a glow stick.
So it might want to just be Torn that goes in.
That
What am I
would
doing
be-
now? Am I going to kill the king? Because
I mean,
What
Go
if
ahead
we
and take
said
the fall
yes? Just a hypothetical.
hypothetically speaking, am I killing the king?
No.
I just said gather information without stabbing.
You just give him a good shove.
No, not stabbing things kind of takes away from being able to get information.
Yeah. Make sure you get that
You're-
information
you're-
all over the place.
You're invisible. You should be able to hear people talk.
I'm not invisible, damn it.
Did you not hear me about?
Nope.
Not unless someone wants to cast invisibility, give me a friggin' invisibility potion that lasts like 7 hours.
What's the concentration on visibility? 1 minute, I think.
No, it lasts for 1 hour.
1 hour, nice.
Oh, and then you have to cast it again after
Concentration
an hour.
up for 1 hour.
Then you'd have to cast it again after the hour has transpassed. If I'm not back.
Do you think?
I don't even know where the hell the king is.
Give or take, you'd have 45 minutes to find that out.
Wait.
Do you feel confident enough in your ability to be able to? Oh yeah, side bargain. Confident enough in your ability to.
Okay, this is player talk, not you know this.
Yeah.
This is player
Well, I
talk,
mean,
not
I
character.
imagine it's kind of half and half. Do you feel confident enough in your ability to be able to go in invisible, sneak around, and try to find proof in the king's quarters?
I don't even know if you can put me to where exactly the king's quarters are, then maybe.
Somewhere in that building.
God fucking damn it. That's not
I have it on very good authority.
So do I. No fucking shit.
Like,
if we could have like a map of the castle from top to bottom.
This is how I would do it. I would somehow scale up to the balcony where he's going to give his speech, and then work backwards.
And you only have half an hour to do that because you need the half an hour to get back out.
Yeah, half hour to 15 minutes. That's what I was trying to say. I mean, hence why I was going to do it for 2 rogues. You know, one cat, one.
Well, invisibility is a concentration spell, and you can only concentrate on one at a time.
Yes, but I can also twin cast it.
Oh.
Does that work for concentration spells?
It would. I'd only be casting it once, but it would be on 2 people.
Okay.
I think Salem's gonna light up too much though, so maybe I don't think Salem can probably go in there.
You're gonna light up being invisible.
Yeah, there's that. You're also gonna have to open outside the game. I'll remind you that when you have to go open a door, the door will still open. It will just open.
It's a windy day.
The wind did it.
But by the way, when you said climb up to the balcony, he's gonna be standing at. I thought you meant just like stand there and wait, and then just like shove him off.
No, like I'm not saying that this is how it's going to be, but he could already be talking to someone else that's infiltrated the castle on what his speech actually going to pertain to. Or he may not be in, full king mode, so he could be using a different voice or whatnot. He may be a really skilled rogue who is in the assassination tree, so you got your disguise self and all that. Maybe he doesn't have his full disguise on at the moment. When he gets back to his room, he does, maybe lets his so-called hair down or what.
Do we know of anything? Do we know of any object that we're familiar with that only he would have?
The signet, which, if I'm saying this is, I'm not saying it's true, but the signet that we have, the little clay thing, is probably close enough to the real one, but it's probably not a one-for-one exact replication. So if that signet matches up to what we have, it would actually prove that that ring came from our thing.
Well, the reason I ask is because I have the spell Locate Object, which can locate an object that I'm familiar with up to 1,000 feet away from me within 30 feet of its location. So if we know of something that he would have in his room, I can tell you where in the castle that room is.
You would only know of 2 items. You specifically, Ellie.
But I mean, if they described it to me in great detail, possibly.
Well, we do have the signet, the cast of the ring. You could use that. Yes, no?
You would have
I
the...
assume he's wearing the signet on him, but the box that you gave him.
The items that he would have, specifically, are the ring, and he has an exquisitely magical sword. Is a sort of legend.
Does he typically wear it around on him at all times?
Not always, but generally speaking, so yes. In official functions, being seen out, he does.
And this is technically an official function, so he would be wearing the sword.
Right, but we're not trying to find him. We're trying to find his room.
Yeah.
It's true. Can we describe the box?
Oh, wait. Would that be enough information for Mavis? Because if you do the ring that was made from that
It's
specific
still
casting,
hearsay.
it wouldn't be the real ring.
It would still be hearsay though, because they would need to get like a court cleric or wizard to do it. They wouldn't just take my word.
It would also... I will point out that it would be exceptionally hard to tell the difference. If you could tell the difference at all.
Right, I'm just trying to figure out where his room is so we can give better information to Bartoris. So what do y'all think the box that the signet ring would be stored in?
It's best bet.
Dude, I mean, are we assuming that it's in there?
Who knows?
Could try the signet ring or his sword. His sword might be in his room if he isn't wearing it right now. He might be in his room.
How many times can you do that?
It's a 2nd level spell, so only 3 times, I believe. Yeah, per day. So we're trying to get it on the first shot.
Yeah.
I don't know how big this castle is, but his room could also be on the other side of the, castle.
And it may not be in his room.
He may be wearing it.
It's possible.
So,
The possibilities are endless.
if anything, we can turn me invisible, I can shove him over the side, and then try not to get captured.
I believe that would be considered an attack, which would make you no longer invisible.
If I trip him accidentally,
Knock something over and
yeah, knock something into him by accident, like as I'm trying to leave, I accidentally bump into something that causes a domino effect. It knocks him over the side.
You just happen to be carrying an ottoman when invisibility is cast on you, which you drop in front of him as he's walking.
You only magically happen to be carrying a live bomb or a ball of alchemist fire that drops out of your pocket and magically bursts the king into flames.
Yeah, there you go. Anybody got some alchemy fire I could accidentally drop out of my pocket?
Okay, here's the new plan. You buy a bunch of little boxes and cast that exploding warding spell on each of them.
And then just set it around the thing, and when the king steps there,
You set them around there with fishing string attached to it, and then when he steps up to it, you pull the string to open them.
So basically, basically fill the castle with claymore mines.
Yeah. They'll fill the balcony with claymore mines.
could possibly.
So, are you even interested in Stealthy Den, or does that seem hopeless to you?
At this point, I got nothing aside from waiting or stealthing in to try to find something in an hour's time frame.
And Oni, what about you?
Oh hell no. He's not going in. He's too easily detectable at magic, and going to a palace full of royal guards for treasonous possibly treasonous reasons, I don't think Salem would want to do that.
I mean, all I'll say is that if we have reason to believe, and it sounds like you guys do, that this might be the catalyzing event that could push him from demigod into, like, deity status, and this is what we're supposed to prevent, then we gotta do something.
Eh?
It may not be the event, but it's definitely the start of it. Like, this
Yeah.
is what's going to give it the push.
Right.
This may be what sets it off. Like, you know, his attempt to get godhood status. And if he fails, he'll just start back over again, you know, unless, of course, we kill him outside of time and erase him across all of existence.
See, 'cause I don't think people in D&D are, like, that easily influenced into changing what deity they believe in. Like, I agree that if he keeps pushing it, then yeah, it'll probably gain a lot of sway, but I don't think him going up there and saying, hey, Wastri's the one true god, I don't think that'll just suddenly do it.
Could be
Well,
some,
unless
like,
he makes it a royal decree, punishable by death.
Then every other temple would turn against him and there'd be a giant crusade.
Maybe that's what he wants.
That happened before. Didn't the Roman people do that? Or at least King Henry?
That's not Greyhawk.
I know, but that's actual, you know...
Greyhawk doesn't believe in monotheism.
It's a theocracy, not a monarchy. Or is it a monarch? I don't know.
Well, monotheism just means one god.
So, it's polytheism.
This is polytheism, not monotheism.
Right. So, like, the idea that a bunch of gods exist beside each other, none is the one true one, like, nobody really believes that.
Yeah,
He can definitely sway followers.
Zeus has entered the chat.
But if you just even sway like one person, you know, from each god away, that's weakening that one and strengthening the one they do. So you only need so many to, you know, what percentage before that demigod is now enough followers to become a god. You don't have to make everyone believe it. You could just if they wouldn't, you know, say they were worshiping 5 gods, now they're worshiping 6 gods.
Right. No, I get that. I was saying, I don't know if we're expecting, like, as soon as he says Wastri should be followed, that is that going to do it? Do we need to stop this event?
Jalu would like to, but there's no how. Kind of hoping you guys have a...
I mean, it sounds like we're able to pull enough resources to give a rogue a chance if he's willing.
All I'm saying is I'm one level away from casting Fireball and it just all falling.
But if this attempt fails, does it set off a chain reaction in the opposite direction?
The real question is, this giant balcony structure is kind of like cantilevered out from the castle, right?
Yes. It's a balcony.
How many casts of Shatter would it require to drop this bitch?
More than you could cast.
You're gonna have to flex hard on this one, Glocktor.
A wild magic surge might do it.
Flex the hardest you've ever goddamn flexed.
My God.
But yeah, I would like to mess up this event, but I don't.
Yeah.
I can offer assistance, but I can't go in there to try to find proof.
Yeah, neither can Jalu.
Okay. Bartorin wears the signet on his shoulder, pushes the king over, and says, Wastri gives his thanks, and then runs away, but dropping the...
Yes. I drop a pauldron right at his feet and gently push him. Do I have rope? I don't have climbing gear. I was about to say, if I had climbing gear, I could go up there, wait.
So
This is not what I wanted to do. It was just really fun.
So you can,
The whole sending them in and gaining information is what I...
You can give him invisibility, I can give him enhance ability to give him advantage on dexterity and negate damage from 20-foot drops.
But
I
we
could
couldn't
try to
do it
use-
inside the gate because
Right.
again, too many items.
Well, enhance
many
ability is
eyes.
all for an hour.
How about this? You set a hunting trap on the balcony.
Can anybody make traps?
I have a hunting trap.
And I also have a trap.
Let's cast invisibility on the trap and leave it on the balcony.
I don't think it works like that.
Why would it not work like that?
It doesn't work like that. The moment you drop it, it becomes visible.
A creature you touch becomes invisible, not an object. Now, a object that you're holding, so you could literally put the trap down and put a finger on it, and when he steps on it,
What if the trap is a mimic? Oh.
Oh, shit.
Are you capable of capturing a mimic? Because if you can, I'd like to see that.
Quick, let's go find ourselves a mimic animal handle the shit out of that.
In like an hour.
Let's go find the nearest mimic shop.
Shit.
Like,
Doc,
do
you've
you
been very
have any
quiet
ferocious
in all this.
mimics?
What's your ideas?
You ask?
Sock, I don't think I've heard him really say much in all this.
Yeah, I mentioned the hunting trap just now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
Sock says no,
other
I'm
than
sure.
that,
Serious suggestions.
This Chungus looked like he's made of ideas.
oh no, but I mean, Sock may have ideas, so that's why I'm asking.
What?
Sock and Chungus, I mean, two different people.
Nothing really concrete.
Mm.
Oh, we're willing to go with straw at this point. Grasp it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, y'all have come up with about a dozen plans at this point.
So is Bartorin willing to go in and try to investigate?
Shot. I mean, I'll stick around for a bit, as long as I can, to try to find something. But if I can't find anything within, like, however, like, I have, what, like, an hour? If I can't find anything within an hour, I'm booking it out.
Well, in 1 hour, both of the spells aiding you would turn off, so I would hope so.
Exactly.
Would you want advantage on dexterity checks and safe fall 20? Or
Probably wouldn't hurt.
advantage to intelligence or wisdom for investigation?
My character in general has +3 to investigation, so that's probably a better idea. Because my dex save is, I got +5 on dex saves.
And you have advantage on hearing based ones,
I got,
correct?
actually, never mind, I have +7 on dex saves. So I'm proficient in dex saves.
And advantage on stealth against hearing
Sure,
from your boots with the fur.
this is true. I am trying to move silently.
Anybody else have anything else they could toss into the hat?
Anybody have guidance? Thought it only works once though.
Guidance only lasts for 1 minute, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also concentration, which I'll be using on enhance ability.
Fair enough. So what does enhanced ability give me?
I give you advantage on checks of any one stat of your choice, basically. So if you want, like, investigation intelligence to have advantage, I can do that, or
So
dexterity.
investigation, yeah, that'd probably be a good idea.
Thought I had, just in case shit hits the fan really quick, should Salem get like the mounts together so we can get the hell out of Dodge if we need to get out of here quick?
I mean, only if I get caught, but I'm not trying to get caught. If anything, I'm just losing around trying to be as silent as a mouse, while silent as a dead mouse. Looking
Well-
for clues
well-
just to try to, show the king as a fraud.
Well, another possibility is that the king could come out, do his speech, and say, those people especially are opposing us, and then he points at us.
Yep.
So, might want to be able to get the hell out of Dodge.
Whoa.
All right, so we need to leave the gates, get away.
Yep.
Pretend we're getting ready to, set up to watch the king give his speech, and let Bartoran.
Okay.
Yeah. So, are we gonna go get the mounts together so we can get the hell out of Dodge if we need to?
Sure.
Do you want me to attempt locate object on this legendary sword to try to either pinpoint where the king is or where his room is?
They may see you casting a spell inside the
Well,
gate, and
I'm just casting a non-explosive spell. I
Yeah.
don't think spellcasting's illegal here, is it? The target is myself, so
It's efficient.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you're...
I'll
I
face
mean-
away from the castle when I do it.
Yeah, 'cause that'll...
I mean,
I don't
it's not like illegal to cast magic. It might raise some suspicion all of a sudden if you're casting it near the
I mean,
castle.
so long as it doesn't look like he's doing harm to anything, I think he should be fine.
Okay.
Alright, so I'll cast locate object, attempting to pinpoint the
Sword.
legendary sword.
Also, all bets are off if I find that sword and he's not there.
Expect nothing less.
It's like, hey guys, I got the sword! So therefore, he's without a doubt a fake if he doesn't have the sword. But how'd you get the sword?
Be very careful from how
internet?
legendary this thing is. It might be sentient,
Oh shit, that's right.
so it
Hey,
might
if
just
it's
start
sentient, I
screaming.
could probably talk to convince to help us.
It might just start screaming as soon as you grab it.
If it's sentient, I can try talking to it. If it's sentient, it means it has intelligence. Intelligence means, it's smart to a degree. It can be persuaded to a degree.
Yeah, they all have agendas. It's hard to say what its would be.
I mean, I have an agenda. The other thing is not nailed the fuck down.
Might even be able to make a check to see if we know anything about the sword specifically.
Cool.
If it's that legendary.
Legendary.
This mark show goes deathly silent.
I'm just waiting for y'all to finalize everything and get ready.
I casted locate object.
I know, but y'all were still talking, so I was letting you all figure out everything, and
Oh, I'm past planning. We're in the doing stage.
all right.
We've gone from planning to doing.
You want to rig up the roof with traps? You could buy some time.
I don't.
Rather.
I didn't take
Alright.
that proficiency.
Okay, but I'm gonna drag you. Or drop down a
So-
channel.
What? So who is talking
I'd
to?
much prefer Excalibur.
Drop
I
down
mean,
a channel,
the
monk.
sword.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you who you were saying to move.
Monk.
Oh.
The person who's going by himself.
Okay. Aloha.
Hello. Alright.
Hi.
So, you are going to go into the castle alone.
Yeah. Invisible.
If you're confident on this?
As confident as I can be, all things considered. I mean, I'm heckin' busy, so I completely missed the first hour of this session and almost all of last session last week, so I wasn't able to get caught up with everything. But I'm ready. I'm going to wing it. I mean, half the fun of D&D is making plans up on the fly and seeing how the dice roll. You know.
Okay. So you have been told where the object is. The object seems to be somewhere in the middle of the castle.
Top, middle, or bottom?
It seems around the bottom floor.
Bottom floor, middle area. Cool.
Yes. All right.
Far left, middle, right, middle, or middle, middle?
Pretty much in the middle.
Cool. Okay. So bottom floor, dead center.
Right. All right. So now, how do you plan on approaching the wall first? Do you walk up through the gate where the guards are standing, and do you walk right past them?
Well, I assume I'm gonna be invisible when this all happens. So.
Yes.
I do have second story work, so that doesn't affect my move. It doesn't require extra movement to climb. I don't have very much in the way of climbing gear, with the exception of pythons and hammer, so that would make noise, which is probably a bad idea, unless I could probably try to find handholds in the wall, but the guards would probably make sure that the wall is sheer enough that, like, you know, smooth enough that that's not a possibility. So, unless I can find an open window or something on, like, the first floor, which is probably going to be impossible because it's one way in, and everything else is closed off, front door is probably the way to go.
Alright, so you go walking through the front gate, up towards the front door between the guards. Good now. Alright, so you walk forward. You have now reached the front door. You have not been detected. What do you do now?
I'm sorry, you cut out. I have not been what? I assume you said discovered?
You have not been discovered so far. You walk through the front gate of the wall.
Cool.
You are now in the courtyard. There is the front door in front of you, into the main portion of the castle. What do you work?
Are there any other entrances aside from the main door?
You notice a few small window slits and stuff like that. There might be some back door. There might be a door in the back or somewhere like that, but you don't see them from where your vantage point is.
Alright, I'm gonna check through the windows. See
Okay.
If there's see what's in the room. If there's nobody there, try to make my way through there.
Alright, so you go to the window. You don't notice anybody. And are able to quietly and stealthily climb in through the window. You find yourself in a small side room.
Okay, so I'm now on the first floor side room. What does the room look like? Like, what kind of room am I in? Like a larder, like a closet?
Like a closet. Basically like a small closet side area, yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna gently, I'm gonna close the window behind me, obviously, so going forward, any way, like any entrance I go through, I close it as quietly as I can behind me, trying to cover all traces of my passage.
Okay, so the window is now closed. Alrighty.
I'm gonna put my ear to the door and try to
Hear something?
see if I can hear anybody outside.
Okay, you are unable to hear anybody outside. You can hear people, but they don't seem to be like right outside the door. You can definitely hear it sounds very busy, but not like immediately in front of you.
Alright, is there a keyhole?
There's not.
There's no keyhole, just the door. Alright.
It's just a door. Like, that doesn't seem to be lockable.
Alright, I try the door handle to see if it's... Oh, so it's not lockable. So
It will just open, yes.
Alright, cool. I crack open the door ever so slightly to allow myself to peer into the hallway.
Okay. You can look around in the hallway. You do not see anybody immediately in vantage point of where you are. But you can definitely hear a lot of people shuffling around and a lot of things going on. It seems very high commotion at this time.
Alright, Kit. So, I'm going to... So I can hear shuffling, but there's nobody immediately that I can see of.
Correct?
Alright, I'm gonna open the door wide enough for me to just slip out into the hallway and then shut it behind me.
Alright, you definitely step out and are now standing in the hallway.
Alright, look around, what do I see?
You see several doors leading around different areas. You can hear people. You can hear people in like down the other sections of the hallway, but you don't see anybody specifically near you.
All right. So I'm still roughly in the central area of the castle, first floor, correct?
You're on the edge. You're on the front kind of wall.
I'm in the middle area, but I'm in like the front central area.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Going to do my best to make my way to the. Also, I assume there's a left and right would be towards the main hallway, like the front entrance.
Yes.
Is there a door to this from this hallway to the main, to the main corridor?
You could go right and go down along that section to get to the main corridor. You'd pass by several doors.
Alright, I'm gonna go towards the main corridor, try to make myself, the central main hallway.
Okay. So you follow down around this kind of... And it slightly curves to the left, and it arrives at a T-section, and it's the main wide hallway, and you see people going back and forth, carrying trays of food, talking, patrolling. There are tons of people taking care of tasks at that point.
Okay. So, what direction is like the majority of the foot traffic coming from?
A lot of them seem to be coming down from your right.
From the right, so I'm So I'm at the T section. I assume the is it a vertical T or an upside down T?
It is a vertical T. You've come up like the vertical T. Like you come up, like up, and it basically comes into a flat T. You go right and left.
Okay, so to the right is where the majority of the foot traffic is coming from.
And it's also the direction by which you can sense. Basically, it's also the direction by which the sword would be more directed towards.
Alright, I want to go towards the direction of the sword. Given the information that Ellie told me, 7. I'm going to go towards the direction of the sword, trying to, keep towards the sides of the hull, trying to not bump into anybody.
Okay. Alright. Well, people, it's a decently wide hallway, so you've got some room. You do have to kind of work your way down and kind of work around a few people and kind of dance around them to get around them, but you are capable of doing that. You've done enough of this to get around people. Alright. So then you come to a large set of doors.
Alright. Is this the general... Going off of what Ellie told me, would I be assuming that this is where the sword would be?
Yes.
Alright, I immediately, before I do anything else, I immediately take stock of my surroundings, see if there's anybody near me.
There are people coming your direction, yes.
Alright, how far away are they?
30 feet, maybe 40 feet.
So far enough away that if I tried to open the door, they would notice the door opening.
Yes, very much so.
Is there any side rooms around? Like where I am?
No, not that you see now.
No?
They seem to be coming towards the door, though.
I'm gonna stand off to the side of the door and see what they do. I'm gonna move towards, as far against the walls as I can, away from the door and away from them, but still within range of the door, so if they go into the room, to slip in right behind them.
Okay, so you see them come down. It's a group of people. They come walking in. You see them push open the door. The door opens into a very large room, and they step inside. Do you follow behind them?
I follow behind them as quickly, as quietly as possible.
All right. All right. You, like the wind itself, step inside the room. You find yourself in the king's court. The king sits upon his throne with his sword at his side, his signet ring on his finger, surrounded by advisors and guards. He is holding court at this moment.
All right. How much time has transpired since the spell was cast? I mean, since I made my way here now.
About 20 minutes. You've had to take some... let's call it 15. I'll give you 15 on this one.
15 minutes?
15 minutes, because it's taking some time. Because you've had to go kind of slow.
15 minutes to get from here, and then roughly 15 minutes to get back, so I've got roughly 30 minutes, give or take. 15 to 30 minutes to hear what he has to say, and then try to...
Yes.
So is there other doorways in
Several.
this room? Several.
Yes.
I assume there's a few near.
There is a set of stairs that leads up, and there's a couple doorways upstairs. You can see a couple doors that lead off to the side. There's one behind the king itself.
Alright, I'm going to make my way to the back of the room, avoiding everyone sticking to the sides. Try to not engage with anyone as best as I can. To try to get closer to the king to hear what he's saying.
You would easily be able to hear him without having to move.
Okay, so in that case, I want to move to the back of the room while also keeping mind of my surroundings, not bumping to anyone, while also kind of keeping an ear to hear what the quote unquote king is saying.
All right. Basically, the people that are there are becoming to request and basically request aid. The croplands have been destroyed by vermin and pest, and they've requested aid, as that they are unable to sell their crops and they're not going to be able to feed their families. The king says that he will pledge gold from the treasury to provide them with the ability to buy food and bread, and that if they ever require any assistance, that the king is always willing to hear the plight of the peasants, no matter how small.
Interesting. Bartorin takes note of that and sticks it in the back of his mind. King will always hear plight of peasants. I can't type peasants, no matter how small of an issue.
Yes.
Because Bartorin just of all the, that doesn't sound very kingly to him, he's probably trying to win support of the lower class, so to speak, to try to. Bartorin thinks that doesn't that sounds like something a genuine king would a king should do, but not what a king would do. He's probably trying to win support of the less common folk to try to build support for Wastry in some way. So he's going to continue to the back of the room, and he said there's stairs leading up, and there's also a room behind him.
Yes, there's a couple doors leading off to the side. There's a doorway right behind the throne, and there's two on the upper balcony. You can see from where you're at.
I assume he's wearing the sword, or is the sword next to the throne?
The sword is sitting beside him on the throne. It's propped up beside him. He's not actually on. He's not wearing it because it would be impossible to wear and sit on the throne. But he has it beside him. It's he could so, you basically get the impression he wears it, and when he'll get up, he'll put it on.
Right. So basically, trying to steal it from him in front of pretty much everyone possible.
You think you would be dead before you got 3 feet from him.
Pretty much. It's there's the sword. Right next to him.
Yeah, there's your death.
Wearing the signet.
You're much more likely to die from that sword than you are to steal it.
Yeah.
And he does it, and you notice he is wearing his signet ring.
Yep, he's wearing the ring. So Bartorin is going to make his way towards the stairs.
Okay.
I assume there's guards standing by the stairs.
There are.
All right.
There's one by each. There's one standing by each set of stairs. So basically, the stairs kind of arc up on the sides, one on each side, this kind of grand staircase. There's a guard standing by each side of that stairwell.
And there's also a room behind him. You said, correct?
There's a doorway behind him. Yes.
I assume there's guards next to that door as well.
There is.
So, trying to get through that door would be impossible. Are there windows in this room?
There are not. This is an interior building. There are no windows.
All right. So it's a section off.
It is on the center of the kingdom. It is his the throne room is in the center.
So basically, if there are windows, they're only there. They're super high up. Impossible to get to.
They're not really windows so much as they're decorative, almost glass paintings. Basically, is what they would be.
Basically, they're just there for show.
They are there for visual purposes only.
Yeah, pretty much. Right. Barto's gonna try to go up the stairs.
You try to go up the stairs.
Get up the stairs.
All right, so you just sneak past the guard. The guard kind of goes, "Huh."
Oh my god.
And you see him kind of turn and look at where you just walked past.
Bartorin holds his breath. Like,
And he kind of turns back around. And you see him look back a couple times as you quietly climb the stairs.
yeah, Bartorin is not making a goddamn sound. Like, he's holding his breath. Like, not making a sound.
Alright, so you are on the second floor.
Alright, is there any immediate rooms nearby?
There's a doorway to your left, yes.
Alright, is there one of them? What else do I see?
Basically, the room is a balcony. There are some people standing up here watching. They seem to be like lesser nobles that are just kind of standing here watching the court of the king.
Okay. Bartorin's gonna try the door. Quiet, like, well, actually, that's probably a bad idea because there's people there, so, I assume...
I mean, they are watching what's going on downstairs. They're not really paying attention to the doors themselves.
Bartorin's gonna give it a shot.
But not doing it stealthily would hurt.
Yeah, he's gonna do it as stealthily as possible, like, quiet.
Alright, you're able to gently pry the door open and slip into the door. Without anybody noticing. At least as far as you're aware.
What do I see?
Alright, you step into a small side room that looks to be some kind of study.
I'm sorry?
It appears to be some kind of study or some kind of library.
Alright. Bartorin's gonna look around for a hot second, see if there's anything he can find, like any sort of incriminating evidence on the king.
You look around, it seems to be much more like an aide's kind of like work area where he sends out pages and writes letters and so on and so forth. You're unable to look at anything of like grand importance.
Alright, Bartorin's gonna leave because there's nothing in this room. Figure what, 20 minutes or so have passed by now?
You're coming up on about 25.
25 minutes, you still got 35 minutes left.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to start, Bartorin, I'm gonna keep in mindful of the time, trying to, not spend too much time here, because he still has to get back and report back.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's across the, like, go back into the hall as quietly as possible.
Right.
Obviously in front of me are the people looking down into the court. To the left of me is the stairs. What's to the right?
The right wraps on around to the other side, where there is another door.
There's another room.
Yes.
Alright, Bartorin's gonna follow the hallway to that side of the upper balcony.
You have officially reached 35 minutes. Or 25 minutes, I'm sorry, 25 minutes. You have 35 minutes remaining on your stealth.
Alright.
Or your invisibility, I should say.
Yeah, figured. Is there anybody on this part of the balcony?
There are people all around the balcony. But they're kind of watching and leaning over, and they're social ladies and so on and so forth. They're not paying a whole lot of attention to what's going on upstairs. Behind them and stuff.
Alright, Bartorin's he's gonna stealthily slip into this room.
Alright, you were able to just barely slip in through that door.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You've cut it.
What all do I see in this room?
This room is a small storage room.
What all is in this, what is being stored in this room?
It seems mostly like furniture, actually. Like flat pack tables and chairs, stuff like that. You get it basically if there was could be a grand ball or a grand dinner. This is where they would store all the furniture, and for some reason they put it on the second floor, mainly just to be a bunch of dick to the servants, because now they had to pack it downstairs.
Bartorin mutters under. Bartorin curses and swears and he just thinks he says fucking nobles, but he doesn't say it out loud. He just he says it in his head fucking nobles.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I write to you bastards. Alright, Bartorin's gonna leave.
Uh-huh.
As quietly as possible to get back out into the hallway.
Alright. You notice somebody else has entered the main courtyard. Or the main king's...
Who has entered?
There seems to be some kind of high-powered wizard. Some kind of court wizard.
Fuck. Bartorin's gonna listen for a hot second to see what's going on and then try to get out.
The wizard is speaking to him, but you aren't able to make out exactly what it's saying.
Alright, so I probably have to go back downstairs to hear what the wizard is saying.
It would be required, yes, basically.
Alright, Bartor's gonna sneak back downstairs to try to hear what the wizard is saying and pray
Alright.
to his gods. Praying, like he says, a prayer to his gods that,
Alright.
please, for the love of God, do not let me get caught.
So you step back down past the other guard on the other side. The wizard is talking about the speech.
Oh, this is interesting. Like, Bartor thinks to himself, oh shit, hot damn, Goldmine, the speech.
Basically, the wizard is informing the king that, to remind the king that to placate to the nobles, not the nobles, but to the peasants, and that, and they're kind of having this conversation quietly off to themselves, and that, you know, that reminding them that the gods are where, you know, strength comes from, and that the belief in them is important, and that they are the reason why he has returned, and was able to find his way back, and so forth.
Right, who has returned?
The king.
The king?
Yes, it is basically the gods who have guided him back from his mysterious disappearance.
Keep cutting out, I'm sorry, man.
Basically that the gods are why he has been able to return from his disappearance, from his time of being lost. By the way, you are at 30 minutes.
Alright, hearing that, Bartor is going to try to start making his way back to the group.
Okay.
Alright, so hang on, I'm going to make the note here. Wizard, like court wizard, comma, king,
He is a slightly older gentleman, kind of tall, lanky looking, very wizardy like, wearing a white robe with red sashes.
Wizard, white robe,
Red
red
sashes.
sashes.
You don't notice any kind of distinctive markings on it though.
And no distinctive markings. No.
Yes, like no markings to a god of any kind.
No markings. I cannot type, honest to God. No markings of any
It's all good.
to any god. King's speech, placate, commoners, aka super poor. No, you said peasants, right?
Peasants, yes.
Placate the Peasants, peasants, aka super poor people.
The common folk, basically.
Yeah. Peasants, commoners. I cannot type, Jesus. God damn it, fingers, don't make me hit you with a hammer. Placate the peasants, commoners, or help supporting the god. AKA, possibly, Wall Street.
Yes, well, remember that it was, to remind them that it was the gods who gave him the ability to return from his being lost.
Gods gave him the ability to return from his disappearance.
Yes.
Okay, so king will always hear plight of peasants no matter how small of an issue. Old tall lanky court wizard, white robe, red sash, and no markings of any kind, any god. Talked about the king's speech. Placate the peasants, commoners, aka super poor people. To Bartoran, there's the super poor people because it's not worth stealing from. Father up supporting the god, possibly Wall Street, as the gods gave him the ability to return from his disappearance. AKA swapped out real king or fake king. Possibly. ... Possibly.
Okay. You got everything I could think of.
Same. Still wish, like, I mean, I honestly had a feeling that when you said central, I'm like, back on my mind was like, yeah, it's probably on the king, so no chance of stealing that. And my money's on that the room behind the king's throne is quite possibly the king's room. And, you know, with the guards there, 2 guards each side, almost impossible to get through.
Trying to open the door would probably get you caught.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That's like, not doing that now.
You as a master thief would realize that.
Yeah,
Alright, so you want to try and make your way back out?
Yes, try to get out of Dodge. back from whence I came, like,
Okay.
well, not really, but not from exactly from whence I came, but as close to as possible. So.
Okay. All right. So you will make your way back out the door. Okay. All right. So you make your way back out the door, and you're able to make your way down the hallway.
Yep.
Being mindful of the groups that are coming your direction. Ooh.
Yep.
Um.
Quietly, super quiet.
Some people have given some looks kind of in your direction, but they've kind of brushed it off. You're able to get back to the door.
Anytime Bartorn notices somebody possibly noticing him, he just takes a he silently inhales and holds his breath, and just keeps on going. Just like not making a goddamn sound.
All right, so you're able to make it back to the door that leads to the closet, or the kind of the little closet area. You're able to open it and quietly slip inside, and are able to climb back out.
Awesome.
You work your way back around, back between the guards, and are back out into the main portion of the city.
Cool, I'll make my way back to the group.
As you're walking back, the spell begins to fade, and you reappear. And we can jump back up, and I will let you tell the group while I take a pee break.
Alrighty.
And back up we go.
Aloha, guys.
The DM will be right back.
Okay, so, while the DM they'll be right back, I'll give you a quick rundown of what happened. So, the sword. Found it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go on.
but it was with the king, who was holding court. He was also
Had a
wearing a
feeling.
signet.
Had a feeling.
So, it was literally right next to him, and I made the judgment call to not try to grab the damn thing, because I would have been dead before I even took 3 steps towards it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but while I was making my way, checking around the room, checking out, like, as much as I could of that section, being very mindful of my time, I came across some interesting things. The king will always hear the plight of the peasants, no matter how small of an issue. He promises them that no matter how small of an issue they may think it may be, he will always hear them out, and he will always help them, no matter what.
Yeah, he's trying to gain the
Big
favor
point.
of people.
He's trying to and then when I was walking around the upper balcony of the courtroom, or court, you know what I mean, right, the king's court, a possible court wizard appeared. He was an old, tall, lanky dude, wore white robes, red sashes, but he had no markings of any kind that I could see of, noticeable to any god in any way, shape, or form. I was able to get up close to them enough to hear that they was talking, that the wizard guy talked to the king about the speech, that he was telling the king to, remember, gotta placate the commoners, the peasants and the commoners, for help supporting the gods. You have the gods to thank for you have the gods to thank because they gave you the ability to return from your disappearance, which, as I put in parentheses, aka swapped out fake king, the real king for the fake king, possibly. And also the gods being possibly Wastri. I was able to make it in and out with no issues, thankfully.
So,
Why does that sound familiar?
what does?
White robes with red sashes.
I don't know.
I don't know, but Marshall specifically told me that's what he looked like. An old, tall, lanky dude wearing a white robe with red sashes and no markings of any kind to any gods. Again, at least not that I could see it, because, I can only see so much of him, so there may or may not be something under the robes. I'm not
What
sure.
did the dude look like?
Just an old, tall, lanky court wizard with a white robe and red sash. I can ask Mark, so when he
When
comes
you
back
say
for...
lanky,
Yeah.
how
That's
lanky?
That is a fantastic question. I can probably get more details from Mark when he comes back.
Because if it's like a deformity amount of lanky,
No.
I think those are bad
okay.
people.
No, he's just got really, he's a tall, thin, lanky guy. Got long arms, got long legs, really skinny.
Still, I don't remember the details, but I'm pretty sure White Robe, Red Sash are bad people.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Perhaps. So anyway, we could find out, like, well, some kind of a check. Obviously not me.
Well,
'Cause I
okay,
don't-
so you were going around, they were talking about that stuff. What happened next?
Well, I had hit the halfway mark for my time, so I decided to leave because, you know, if I stayed there any longer, I probably wouldn't have. And I probably could have stayed a little bit longer, but I honestly felt like Marshall said, you've got as much as I could think of you possibly getting. So I decided to leave because there's only.
I meant specifically out of that conversation, but yes.
Yeah, because there was one other place I possibly could have checked, but there was no way in hell I was getting in there because it would have been the king's room, and there was no ways into it that I could see aside from the one door, which was literally behind the throne room, guarded by 2 guards. So
you're saying there's a chance?
yeah, chance. You know, if we somehow manage to cast mass invisibility on all of us and knock out the guards and then cast mass invisibility again.
So were you able to successfully make your way back to us?
Yes, I was. I was able to, as far as I could tell, as far as I know, I wasn't doing my rolls. Markso did. Ooh, that's my knee popping. As far as I know, I was able to get in and out, no problem. I had a few close calls, but I just managed to make it. And then as I was walking back, the spell faded, and I just, you know, kind of gradually faded back in. And now I'm here, and we're all caught up.
Mm-hmm.
So what
As
do we
far
know
as-
about this possibly wizardy guy in the robes and sash?
You have never seen him before. Based on that description.
I know
Are
of a place
those-
where we can get information on it, but it'll cost money.
Are
And,
those markings significant in any way?
markings that I
I
can
mean,
see,
just
is what Markso said.
the apparel, that feels uniformish almost.
You aren't sure, based on that description. As far as you know, you can't say for certain that he is an evil person, but you can't say for certain he is a good person.
Are there any knowledge skills that would be associated?
Give me an insight check.
I can do that.
Another thing is, would anyone recognize that garment style, like how that combination? Would that be significant to any god, organization, something like?
You don't know. And Elliot, you weren't certain of their intentions. Especially given based on the description of the conversation and the attire. You are uncertain of their intentions.
Well, if I had to make a guess, he's trying to get the favor of the people to make them more easily swayed by his opinions.
Yep, that's the exact same thought that I came up with. Like, that I, as in like Bartorin, came upon with. Like, yeah, he's carrying favor with the peasants because, you know, they're the most easily swayed.
Also the largest population.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because
Most belief
that's
points.
like that one scene from A Bug's Life. They outnumber us 100 to 1, and if they ever figure that out, we're done for. There goes our food supply.
If there's any hope, it lies with the proles.
Yep.
Can we use that to our favor? Is there any way we can actually use the plight of the people? Like, can we go in, they'll seek audience for a, you know,
We could start being do-gooders around town to try to gain favor with them ourselves, but
No, I was meaning more along the lines of pretending that. Remember that old windmill? If we were like someone of us was the owner of the windmill, and we're just like, oh, you know, the winds have wrecked the windmill. We are trying to get it back. Can you help us? But that just gained us access to closer.
Right. What's your idea on what we would do once we gain that access?
Circle of Truth. Because that would get us 60 feet, probably 60 feet to them. It just, there would be a lot of guards, so we'd have to ask our questions quick.
They would know it's being cast, and people affected by it know it's affecting them.
But there's also, what's the save on it?
Charisma. He's a charismatic leader character.
It's a shame we don't have a warlock that can cast Hex on him and choose Charisma as a disadvantage for his checks.
I mean, it'd basically be casting 2 attacks on him in court, though.
Yeah, true. Unless we can just like, wait, we're doing this to prove that he's fake. Like,
oh no, we would still be attacked. It's just we'd have to have him say something with those couple seconds to disprove him that.
Yeah,
like,
there's
are you the real
nothing.
king? No, I am not.
The spell itself doesn't compel truth; it prevents lies.
You just say nothing.
Exactly.
Fuck, that's right. I forgot.
But if you combine that with command, you could use a one-word command of answer
Yes.
to force him to speak if he failed the check.
Like, Zone of Truth, command. Are you a real king? Like Zone of Truth, command, answer the question. Are you the real king? Failed the check. No, I'm not.
But that's a lot of dice.
Yeah, it's true.
All the while probably being attacked by multiple people. And in that commotion, who's to say they would even notice his answer?
True.
Meanwhile, while y'all are having this discussion, you see crowds of people push up your direction.
I'm interested in hearing what he's got to say, but do we want to hang back a little bit in case we need to GTFO?
Yeah, have the horses ready, mounts ready, I should say.
Alright, so you see them push up. And they're all staring intently up at the balcony. And you see the double doors of the balcony push open. And you see the king surrounded by his advisors and guards and captains and so forth step out on the balcony. And that is a session.